All right,
It looks like
3,
we're going.
2, 1, clap. There we go.
It's a lot easier to do the clap thing when I can see your hand.
Yeah, we got that whole visual cue going on.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. All right, so welcome to a very special episode of Battle School Dropouts, the only anime podcast directly and officially sponsored by Rap Snacks Chips. My name is Bakari Flocka Flame, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Stew Chains. Here we are. We have four bags of Rap Snacks that we got at the corner store 2 blocks from here. And it's gonna be a good time. But first, Stu, how you doing?
I'm doing great. With Stew Chains, 4 bags of Rap Snacks.
That's right. Taking inventory.
Listen, we talked a lot about the things that we want to talk about today. And then we talked about these Rap Snacks that we found. And I'm too excited. We're going to get into our whole routine. We're going to talk about the video games we've been playing. We're going to talk about the shows we've been watching. We're going to talk about all that good stuff. But we found Rap Snacks.
Rap Snacks.
Let me see here. Oh, great. So we got 4 bags of snacks that we found at the convenience store where we bought our beer today.
Yep.
We've got Migos sour cream with a dab of ranch. Ooh, that was good. A good dab.
Thank you. I'm only 30 years old, you know.
We got Cardi B cheddar barbecue. And then you want to take the honors on this one?
Oh, of course, yeah. So we have Romeo Miller, FKA Lil Romeo, featuring Nick Cannon, barbecuing with my honey. It's honey barbecue.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then as a bonus round, we got Cardi B Red Hot Cheddar.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's fucking dig into these, dude.
Do you think Red Hot Cheddar is supposed to be said with the same meter as wet ass pussy?
RHC. WAP.
It's not as catchy, but like with the initialism there, but
yeah. No, I think so.
Yeah.
Red Hot Cheddar. All right, so we opened up. I'm most excited about Migos sour cream with a dab of ranch.
Yeah. Takeoff is looking at his watch on the bag. Quavo's looking at Takeoff, I think, and then Offset's just kind of he's preoccupied with something off camera. We can't quite tell. Anyway, yeah, it tastes like a sour cream and onion chip. Like
yeah,
a little less oniony, I guess.
A little less salty than I feel like most chips are.
It's a little sweet, almost.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
I know we're rating them or whatever. I'm marveling that these exist.
So would you give this total garbage or keep watching? Are you gonna keep watching these chips? Are we ranking them like 1 through 4?
No, your version's better here.
Okay.
I would say that gets an F from me.
Yeah. That is very. I don't like whatever the best sour cream and onion chip in the world is. I still don't like it that much. So this is not doing it for me.
All right. Well, let's try Romeo Miller, who we had to look up to figure out it was Lil Romeo.
Yeah, I didn't realize I knew he started going by Romeo. I didn't realize he started going by Romeo Miller. I just thought it was some other dude. Yeah,
because we listened to a song featuring Nick Cannon, and then from 2004, and then we listened to a song from a year ago. And it's even the song we listened to from a year ago, it's like, who are you? What is this? And it felt so fake because he's out there in his neighborhood with all these people. And it's like, these are extras that you paid. What is happening?
I mean, he hasn't been caught in the act like Bow Wow was. Bow Wow Miller. He got caught. He posted a picture of a private jet on Instagram, talking about how he was going to go somewhere. And then somebody posted a picture of him hours later in regular, I don't know, coach or whatever on a public regular jet. Got called out there.
I mean, that's humanizing, regular Instagram idiots do that all the time. It's nice to see successful people do it as well.
It's true.
Assuming Bow Wow is still successful.
I don't know. I liked Like Mike. I thought that was a good movie.
Yeah, I'm sure that still holds up.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I haven't watched it since then. All right. It was Bow Wow and not Romeo, I think. Yeah, it was. It was.
I know the plot to that movie. I cannot tell you anything else.
I can tell you the basketball is my favorite sport, and that I like the way they dribble up and down the court. It's about where it ends. This is the Romeo one.
So this is the Romeo one. This is barbecuing with my honey.
Yeah.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. That's all right.
This is the most, like, basic barbecue.
I like the barbecue Lay's better.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is worse than barbecue Lay's.
The flavor is fine. The crunch isn't quite as satisfying, though.
There's no crunch, and I feel like the flavor went away, like, really quickly, and all of a sudden I was just too... Like, it's like, instantly, flavor disappeared, and I just have a chip in my mouth with no flavor.
Yep.
And it has no crunch, so it's like... this is ash in my mouth, Romeo Miller.
I don't think we ever explicitly said, but this is a special episode because we're sitting next to each other in person and not over Discord. We are not, technologically, we are not prepared for this. So we're all in one microphone right now. It's kind of a janky setup. The audio is not going to be great on this one, folks. Sorry. But, you know.
Yeah, you're bringing up for it. I got so excited about Rap Snacks. I forgot to bring up all the things that are happening. So this is the first time that we've recorded several episodes together.
Yep.
And then the first episode that we posted, we recorded together.
Yeah.
And then the thing called COVID happened, and every episode prior to this one has been recorded over Discord, I believe.
Yes, yeah. Episodes 2 through 12. Because one was recorded way back before we posted it. But yeah, this is like kind of the first time since then that we've been able to do this in person.
Yeah. Oh god, it's so fun. So we're watching the first 6 episodes of Dororo today.
Oh yeah.
And that's what the whole episode is about. I know it might seem like we're just going to talk about Rap Snacks today, but that's what this episode's about. And it was so fun. Like, we sat on my couch, we watched Dororo, we figured out how we were going to watch Dororo, because it's never just go to Crunchyroll and just watch a show you want to watch. Alright, well, before we get back to our regular...
So we've gone through the chumps, now we're on the champ. Cardi B's Cheddar Barbecue.
Cheddar Barbecue.
I got no riffs for Cardi. I like Cardi quite a bit, actually, so, you know, I don't have any jokes to make about her or her chips, really.
Yeah, I do gotta say, before we move on, we got a rating system. Romeo Miller barbecuing with my honey. That's a total garbage for me.
Really?
Yeah, I would not get these
again. I
might get the Migos one again.
Oh, I would get Romeo like 100 times before I ever got the Migos one again.
That's
and like, I like Migos a lot more than I like Romeo Miller, naturally. But as far as the chips go, yeah, I mean, they're not the worst barbecue chips I've ever had, I guess. And like, if somebody handed me a bag of them and I was hungry, I would eat the whole bag. I'm
gonna counter your statement there. These are the worst barbecue chips I've ever had.
They are the worst you've ever had.
Yeah,
wow.
Not that I've eaten a ton of them, but yeah, these are the worst.
We're just different, I guess.
The flavor was gone immediately. What a nightmare of a chip.
And that means you can't remember how mediocre they were when you go for the next one, you know?
I can, because I'm on a podcast.
Well, I have a terrible memory span, Stu.
All right, so this is Cardi B Cheddar Barbecue.
Yes.
Cheers.
That's nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's got flavor.
Still not a fan of the texture, but I think that's going to be the case across the board.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what they're making these chips out of, but I don't trust it.
Yeah. Also, hey, corner store a couple blocks from here. Could you start stocking the Fetty Wap ones? I want to try those next, please.
That's the other thing. So, this is why we're so excited about this. We Googled the whole Rap Snacks line before this, and there are so goddamn many.
Oh, yeah.
So many. And it's like, I can't tell which ones are real and which ones are Photoshop.
Well, the thing is, excuse me, we found a Twitter page for it, but it only has like 4,700 followers, and it's not verified.
Yeah.
So any of those, it seems like the most official representation of Rap Snacks, but also I have no fucking idea if that's the legit one.
Right.
But hey, Rap Snacks, if you're listening,
and we know you are.
Yeah. Hey, send me some more Rap Snacks. I want to see what other rappers and flavors you got.
Listen, as long as if on the weird off chance that ever happened, we'll review them every episode.
Oh, sure.
We'll be fully endorsed by Rap Snacks in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about your business practices, but I'm just going to assume it's really good.
Hey, listen. Here's a pitch right now, okay? It's called Rap Snacks, not Rap Chips. Here's one. A Tribe Called Chex Mix.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh. If we're not reviewing that on the next episode, these guys fucked up. All right, let's get into the last one. Cardi B's Red Hot Cheddar.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to be spicy?
Well, you're fucking with some Red Hot Cheddar.
Oh, I got a story about some fucking spicy food earlier.
Paid my tuition just to kiss me on this Red Hot Cheddar. What are you saying?
This chip is huge.
That is, yeah.
It's like the size of my palm. All right, cheers.
Cheers. That's not spicy at all.
It's not bad, though.
Yeah, it's
you
know what? It's a little tingly.
Yeah, I like that taste.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Like, it's not like eating, like, red hot Cheetos or whatever. Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Yeah. A little bit of lime would actually make that better, I think.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of lime.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, I feel a little tingly.
Yeah, just a teensy bit.
Yeah, like, it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't finish this bag, but...
It's like Taco Bell spicy, you know? Like,
yeah.
It's not really spicy, but, you know, it's the essence of spicy is there.
They took chips, they poured fire sauce all over them, and we moved on with our lives.
Yeah.
I liked it. I gotta say, Cardi B snacks, I would keep eating.
Oh, yeah, me too. I mean, as expected, right? It's, you know, Cardi B versus Migos or Romeo Miller. Who's gonna win here? Naturally.
Oh, Romeo Miller.
Well.
Here's where I'm at. Cardi B's chips, I would potentially buy again, and I would potentially... I'll eat these bags, and
sure.
I will not complain. The Migos
I
and
hope
Romeo
you do.
Miller
We have
ones,
4 open bags of Rap snacks.
This was a mistake. Now that we are done with this bit, this was a mistake.
Yeah. It's a good bit, though.
Oh, it's a great bit. All right, I'm getting these chips out of here.
There we go.
I don't want us munching during the podcast.
Yeah, I think we've offended the audience enough with our mouth sounds. I'll try and edit them out as much as I can, but no promises.
No promises. Because this is a live recording together.
We got one microphone.
Only one.
The pop filter is attached to the desk itself.
Yeah.
We don't have a good mic stand. We almost used duct tape.
Dude, I feel like you were like, hey, let's do this thing. I'm like, but what if we just tied a bunch of duct tape to it? You're like, well, no, we don't need to do that. I'm like, I'm looking for the duct tape.
You really had your heart set on the duct tape.
I didn't even find it, and I was still heart set on it. All right. Well, let's get into our regular podcast part. Before we start talking about anime, Bakari, how have you been doing?
I'm great. I got a belly full of Rap snacks now, and I'm doing just fine.
No, you know what? Let's review. No.
But how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is the first recorded podcast where I am done with goddamn college.
That's right. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm sure you haven't heard that one yet.
Oh, actually, no.
Really?
Yeah, people
Your friends are letting you down.
People are really genuine about, like, congratulating me, and I think that's... You all are on notice.
Pretty weak.
Yeah.
Pretty weak.
But no, it's such a wonderful feeling. I mean, like... there's the existential dread in the back of my head where, like, now I have to find a job related to my field, but yeah, no, it's great for now.
Hell yeah.
It's like, I'm done, and I'm like, I'm gonna treat myself. I just went to school for the last, like, 5 years.
That's right.
Again, time for video games. So.
It's well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah.
Good job.
Absolutely. So what have you been playing? What have you been watching?
I have been playing... Check this out. I have been playing...
Yeah, what Sonic game have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing a couple fan games, but that's neither here nor there. What I've been playing mostly recently, and also I'm working on the Sonic Adventure 2 100%, trying to get all the emblems, but, you know, that's a work in progress. Anyway, what I have been playing mostly these days, I've been playing Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139. Look that up, it's right.
All right, we'll post it in there. I'm not looking it up right now.
That is correct, I'm pretty sure.
What's up with your brain? You can't remember how to get back to your car, but you can remember an entire video game?
Yeah, I mean, I can remember multiple video game titles.
We just gotta get you, like, in a...
I played Kirby 64, The Legend of the... Fuck, I don't remember the actual
Legend
full title. It's Crystal Shards or something. I don't know. Whatever. I've been playing the Nier remake. This is the remake of the original Nier that came out in, like, 2010 or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's good. I've been having a good time. I like young man Nier quite a bit. He's a good lad.
Did you play the 2010 version?
No. I wanted to pick it up. Well, so, like, back in 2010, I was interested because, like, oh, Square Enix action RPG sounds neat. I like the look of this. And then I had a bunch of people tell me, like, it's just some mediocre, hack and slash thing. And then Nier Automata came out and everybody was like, oh my god, I love Drakengard. I love Nier. Dude, I've always loved it. And so it's like, I'm just the dumbass who didn't know, I guess. And then when I tried to, exactly, it's like, oh, excuse me. Everybody told me it was bullshit, back in 2010, 2011, but now everybody's always loved it. But yeah, so I tried to pick up the original in anticipation of the remake and they've taken it off the PSN store and, it costs a decent amount of money on eBay.
Yeah. Like
$60-$70, I think. So, haven't, but the remake's great. It's a good time.
Well, I was going to say, Tim of Chainsaw Man podcast
yes,
fame.
Episode 9?
10? I don't know.
Yeah.
One of them. It's one of those episodes. He has always been a huge Nier fan.
Mm-hmm.
He loaned me Nier back in the day.
He did.
It didn't click for me, but he loves it.
Yeah.
And, he's also a big fan of the remake so far. If you need to play the original, I believe he still owns it on 360 or something.
Okay.
So
I don't have a 360, but you do. And
I've got two, so if you need to borrow one,
so, okay.
I can probably give one up for a little bit.
Yeah, between now and your birthday party, just play through the original Nier. Perfect.
God, I am so ready for my birthday party. Yeah, this is, I can't remember the last episode if we talked about, I don't know, it's all a blur for me, but I'll just restate just in case. We're both vaccinated, obviously, that's why we're recording right now. Otherwise, this would be a terrible decision.
No, we spent a year recording remotely and then just said fuck it.
Just said fuck it, you know what?
I couldn't taste any of those chips. I think we're both gonna die.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's fine, because we're producing the best podcast we've ever put out so far. Brought to you by Wrap Snacks.
Brought to you by Wrap Snacks. All 13 flavors available at your local liquor store.
Yeah. So I think I talked about this.
Except the fucking Fetty Wap one. What the fuck?
Okay, to be fair, according to Google, there are a shit ton of Wrap Snacks out there. So I kind of get it to a certain extent. It seems like there is, like, if you could name a rapper, they have a snack attached to them.
I hope so. Where's my Riff Raff? Wrap Snacks. Tiptoeing in my jalapeno. It's the best I got. You were saying?
What was I saying? So I think I talked about this the last year in the podcast. Like, because of lockdown, it like got me thinking about my birthday. Because I love birthdays.
Yeah.
And
You're a very festive guy. You like Christmases and birthdays and things.
I don't
like
think
partying.
There's some, I'm very passionate about holidays. There's holidays that I love, and there's holidays that I hate. And there's not a lot of in between.
Sure. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and birthdays I love. And I love my birthday because it's like one time everybody remembers LAN parties and stuff like that. And
That's true.
And everybody looks at them with nostalgia. And for me, that's what my birthday is. It's like, it's an excuse. You can't get away from it. If you care about me as a person, you have to come to my birthday, and we're all going to play Halo. And we're going to just play Halo all day. I'm going to glue as many Xbox 360s together as possible. I'm buying as many copies of Halo 3 as I can. And I'm ready for it.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm excited about. I don't know. It's really, it feels so nice to be able to, like, I know we joked with John, like, do you miss Loud? Like, I don't miss Loud. And it's like, now that I've been out to bars and stuff, I'm like,
I kind of miss Loud.
I kind of miss Loud.
Yeah.
No, it's, I went out with friends who have all been vaccinated and everything, and there was like 10 of us at, like a bar/pizza place. And God, it felt beautiful. It felt like the end of a fucking, era or something where it was just like, oh my God, I forgot how much I missed this regular thing that we did all the time. Yeah,
you kind of forget like how much you enjoyed things like going outside when, the prospect of going outside could in fact lead to your early death. Yeah. But now that, we're more or less, like, we're safer, from it, then we get to do those things. It's nice. It's nice. We went out to a bar, and I've never been a huge fan of bars, but like going out to a bar was really nice, felt like a bit of normal.
Yeah. And it's just so fun, like yelling with friends.
Totally.
Just, or like what we're doing now, where it's like, if you came over 6 months ago, 8 months ago, something like that, a year ago, there would be this like weird tension where it's like, okay, we're
breaking the rules.
Like, we're probably good. Like, neither of us have been exposed, but like, fuck, I was at a grocery store today, and it's like, I hate having that thing in the back of my mind, and I love that that's not really there anymore.
Totally.
Yeah. With a slight exception to segueing to Sacanime.
Oh, yeah. Let me just put the final period on Nier before we get into the Sacanime business.
Because I got thoughts.
Yeah, boy, do we. So Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139 is very...
Jesus Christ.
It's a good time. I'm past the time skip, but I haven't quite finished it just yet. From what I understand, it's pretty faithful to the original, like, story and pacing wise, for better or worse. But the combat is like fun, but not like it's not that deep, you know what I mean? Like, we both played Nier Automata. Like, you kind of go into it expecting, like, a Bayonetta kind of deal, and you don't. It's not very Bayonetta.
Yeah. Well, this one wasn't Platinum Games.
It was not Platinum Games,
yeah.
but the controls are pretty much the same. Like, if you've played Nier Automata, you pick this up and you know what you're doing instantly.
Okay.
Instead of a pod shooting the bullets, it's a book shooting magic bullets.
Right, and that's clearly different.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is a different magic system, but, like, there's an MP bar now. But, like, yeah, it's, you know, MP instead of cooldowns, stuff like that. It's easy to figure out. But, overall, solid game, really enjoying it, and, that's that. Anyway,
Sacanime. Okay, so I want to preface this with, I just bought tickets for Sacanime.
Did you?
So, I'm going to talk some shit on Sacanime, but I'm still excited.
You're a fucking hypocrite.
Yep, exactly.
I didn't know you were. I'm going to go do that too then, I guess.
Yeah, no.
Well, son of a... I thought we were full on boycott Sacanime.
Nah, never. Well, okay. Sacanime's got some issues.
Sure does.
Sure fucking does. And I don't... Listen, here's where I'm at with Sacanime. I spent money on the tickets.
Yeah, justify this to me.
I spent money on the tickets. If I don't feel good about it, like, if I feel like it is a wrong time to bring this many people together, I'm just not going to go. And I get it. They got my money already.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know, I'll talk about it then. I am excited, though. And I'm like, on the off chance that... Or not on the off chance. I feel like September, things will be okay. But that said, Sacanime has kind of made an ass of themselves in the last year.
Yes, they have.
They've kind of been making an ass of themselves for a little while now, but the last year was, like, real fucking rough.
Yeah. So to start with, Sacanime, in you know, when vaccinations were first kind of rolling out earlier this year, Sacanime actually shut down a vaccination site for a weekend so that they could do a, not convention, because those weren't legal just yet, but they did a swap meet, I think, with panels and cosplay contests and things very reminiscent of a convention, which is pretty fucked up.
Well, and it shut it down, and they're on their Twitter, they talked about how it was like, well, they weren't going to do it that weekend anyways, and we offered this area so that, or not offered this area, that makes them sound worse than it was, but like, that like, hey, you guys can still do it, we'll just be over in this area, and the response is, well, okay, where is the documentation that they weren't going to do it that weekend? And also, why would they want to do it in a location where a bunch of people are going to be for this swap meet?
Yeah.
You know? Like, if you're a person who cares at all about vaccinations, what are you doing? Like you don't want a ton of people there. You want them to like stay in their cars.
That is the wrong weekend to show up for a vaccine when a bajillion people are there in their Fate Stay Night or Fate Apocrypha, whatever the fucking popular Fate series is right now. Costumes. Grand Order? I don't know. It's too many Fates. Too many sabers.
Too many Fates, too many sabers, too many coronaviruses.
Too many coronaviruses. It's a bad combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so and that's dumb. And it's like there's other stuff that we got to dunk on them for. Yeah. But the weirdest thing for me with Sacanime is that I had a project at school where I wrote about I did a whole like case study and design and all this stuff for Crunchyroll. And their Crunchyroll Expo that had gone digital. And I was writing about what they could have done differently and all that stuff. And it had me do a lot of research into other conventions. Because obviously with lockdown, everybody had to like figure out what they were going to do.
Of course.
And like this last weekend, we had digital Fanime. Basically every convention that didn't happen like immediately. Like the Fanime happened in May. Lockdown happened in like, April, March, around there.
It was March for me.
Yeah.
March, 14th.
So they didn't really have time to prepare.
Yeah.
But, every other convention that had a few months to kind of see this all coming shifted to digital.
Totally.
You know? And their digital stuff, some was good. Some was just basically like a weird Zoom call thing.
Yeah.
But they made that shift. And Sacanime made no effort or anything to do anything kind of digital.
Yeah.
You know? You could have done fan panels. You could have had the staff or the people who run it, just post a video or something like, hey guys, we're really excited. Here's where we're at with Sacanime. Here's what we're planning. Yeah. You know?
There were a lot of ways around that, while also prioritizing, the health of your con goers.
Yeah. And it's it's weird, and Sacanime I think has a certain level of clout amongst like voice actors and stuff like that. Like they're able to pull some pretty big names to their convention.
It's still one of the biggest West Coast conventions. Like there's Fanime, and then there's like Anime Expo.
You got Anime Expo, yeah, and
I think there's something in Washington State at some point in the year.
There's
Does MagFest happen there?
No, there's the nerd in the fucking sushi bar who goes, Garugamesh! And what is...
I know that video, but
yeah, and that's for an anime convention that happens in Seattle.
Otakon?
Oh, that sounds right. Otakon? I don't know.
Oh.
I just know, Garugamesh!
I thought that was just in a classroom.
I don't know. I thought it was a sushi bar.
Sure. I don't
know. It's been a couple of years. I've been trying not to think about conventions for a while.
That's fair.
But yeah, it's weird that they made no effort. Because, like, not even to do, like, a day thing, not even to, like... They seemed committed to this weird swap meet system. And, sure, there's safe-ish ways to do it, but the safest way to do it is to not fucking do it.
Yeah. I had Kari Pamu Pamu tickets for October last year. VIP tickets, might I add. And they just canceled.
Yeah.
You know? And if there was anything I was gonna, like, endanger myself for, it was probably that.
My girlfriend and I have tickets for a band named Pup.
Pup?
And Pup, yeah, P-U-P. And they're like a pop punk band. They're a lot of fun.
Okay.
We've had these tickets for like a year now.
Damn.
Because it was going to happen in, like, I want to say like October or something. Obviously that didn't happen. So they just like, they've been like pushing it back and back. And it's like, maybe this August I think I get to see them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm glad they're like still doing it. My tickets just got refunded.
Yeah,
like,
refunded. Yeah. That's what I thought had happened. And then my girlfriend was like, no, we still have those tickets. We're
You're
still going.
on the hook for it, yeah. Well, the other grievous offense that Sacanime made was the notorious anime voice actor sex pest Vic Mignogna, voice of Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Broly from the Dragon Ball Z Broly movies, the protagonist of Disgaea 3, I don't know, some other shit. He is like the guest of honor there. He's like the big one.
Yeah, because he's been going for ages. And man,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was still going to those.
Well,
I don't fucking go to panels.
I went to the
I'm 30 years old.
I went to the last, I never remember how to say his last name. I've been saying like Vince McNignon for like...
Vince McNoggin.
Vince McNoggin. Sure. Okay, yeah. I've been going to Vince's panels.
Yeah.
Sorry. I've seen him on the panel list for like ages, but I up until recently, I didn't watch Full Metal Alchemist. And
that's right. You just watched Full Metal Alchemist for the first time.
Yeah, recently. Like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, something like that. And you watched the 2003 version. Yes, the original version.
Like the boomers we are. We watched
exactly.
Fuck Brotherhood.
Get out of here, young nerds. And but the thing with it was, I went into his panel. I somehow all anime culture. People being mad at this dude just went right over my head. Didn't hear anything. I go into his panel, and you know what fucking sucks? I have so many issues with like anime panels in general, especially with like voice actors and stuff like that. Yeah. I went into his panel, and I was like, this panel was so much fun.
Really?
I had such a great time. He was showing all his projects and stuff. He has a whole series that he's done with like friends where they basically a continuation of Star Trek, the original series. And I don't really give a shit about the original series, but I watched his version and I was like, this is fun. This is Star Trek. I had such a good time with everything that he was showing and all that jazz. And I left that panel like, wow, I can't wait to see another Vince panel. And then like, I finally looked the dude up online. I was like, God damn it!
That is a shame.
Why can't I have nice things?
I mean, it's not so, like, unless you're, like, you know, in the anime sphere on the internet, which, to be honest, neither of us are really.
Yeah,
you know? Like, unless you're in that sort of community, I guess, like, you're not going to hear about this kind of thing. Like, the average person doesn't know who the fuck Vince McNoggin is. He's just, like, some guy.
Yeah, if I went to Thanksgiving with my family, I was like, have you guys seen Full Metal Alchemist? They'd look at me like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, the best response you get is like, oh, I got that on Cartoon Network once. It was on Adult Swim, right? Like 9 o'clock.
No, I remember Full Metal Jacket. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. No, I like that movie. Yeah, it's such a shame. And it was really funny for a minute where it was like, they had two tweets back to back. One was trying to defend this weird vaccination swap meet thing, and the other was the announcement that Vic Nignong was coming, and they deleted the Vince one, but
for good reason.
It was so funny seeing them back to back, where it's just like they're just ratioed to shit, and there's just loads of people, just especially in the Vince one, where they're like a lot of Jonah Hill doing the on his neck, just moving his hand back and forth, like I don't know. A lot of those responses, and like that encapsulates it perfectly.
Yeah,
like, I get feeling some sort of like you owe something to the guy a little bit because he was there early when you were a little convention, but
fuck him though, he's a piece of shit.
But fuck him though, it sounds like he's a piece of shit.
They had Charles Martinet, the voice of Waluigi, and others.
Another great panel.
Those panels are sick.
That man is a saint.
Yeah.
I don't know what it takes to get into heaven, but he deserves it.
Absolutely.
I've
into
never
heaven twice to do a victory lap.
He's so pleasant. The pleasantest man. I love it.
They had the voice of Shinji, the original voice of Shinji, not the Netflix one, from Evangelion. Yeah. Spike Spencer. Not to be confused with Spike Spiegel.
Yep.
Steve Bloom, I don't think has ever shown up to a Sacanime.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And it was a weird mess.
Really?
I was in line for it, and they did not coordinate where the line would be, like, very well at all. And at one point, they were like, you guys can't wait in line here. And it was, like, right out front of the place, and none of us fucking moved. They're like, you guys can't wait in line here. It's a fire hazard. And we just stood there.
Apes together strong.
And we did. And we all got great seats for the Steve Bloom panel.
That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. God, it was good.
Holy shit. I wish I was at that one. Damn.
I just remember, like, I won't name names, but there was a friend who was like, I'm not moving. No. Like, fuck this. And he just, like, somehow galvanized an entire line.
Oh my god, that's perfect. I didn't know that Steve Bloom ever showed up to ever came to Sacanime.
Well, and they should have fucking known, because they put Spike Spiegel on the fucking bag, like the swag bag. They put his character on there, and then they're like, oh, we're not going to coordinate where the fuck we should put a line. So when everybody gets in line, they're like, you can't be here. It's
like, well, where the fuck do you think is Steve Bloom?
There's one person at this convention that everyone wants to see, and it's the guy who's in fucking everything.
Yeah. That dude is in fucking everything.
He is.
And also Cowboy Bebop is like the anime, like, if you say, I like anime, and somebody who you don't know likes anime says, what's your favorite anime? You can always get away with saying Cowboy Bebop, and they're like, that's a cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a fair amount of anime, and I still put Cowboy Bebop in my, like, top 5.
I'll watch it eventually.
I think it's great.
My girlfriend and I are, like, very slowly getting through it. I've gotten up to episode 9 in the past, but, like, I'm starting it over with Felicia, and we're at episode 4?
You watching it sub or dub?
Sub.
Okay.
Yeah. I tried to tell her that, like, because Felicia's seen, like, maybe 3 or 4 anime series in her life. Like all the way through, and she is the hardest sub purist you'll ever meet. She will not watch anything dubbed ever.
That's so
and I'm like,
good.
this is like genuinely, this is a really good dub actually. Like there are some quality voice actors here, and she's like, no, absolutely not.
The director of the original anime has said that the dub is the proper version of the show.
I think so. Wait, Watanabe said that?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
No way.
That's what I've heard.
That sounds
I believe that's what I heard at that Steve Bloom panel that I got great seats for.
Sure, I believe it. I've never been to a Steve Bloom panel, so you got the leg up on me there.
Also, we might be saying it wrong. It might be Steve Blum.
I watched a video of a bunch of people performing the real folk blues remotely. It was really cool. We should put it in the description just because it's sick. Yoko Kanno was on it.
Shout out to those guys.
Common from the Nujabes songs was not
shit.
Common. Common was substantial. What the fuck? Common wasn't in the video.
I heard Nujabes.
Common is not in the...
I didn't think this through.
He has nothing to do with this. I don't know where the fuck Common came from. Substantial.
He would probably listen to it at some point.
Yeah, probably.
Sure. Yeah.
Different adjective was in the video. A bunch of people were in it. And so was Steve Bloom. And I'm pretty sure he said Bloom.
Okay.
Like he introduced himself.
Okay. I just wanted to
I could be totally
get
wrong
us on that. We don't know. At this point, if anyone ever wants to... Listen, if you're a viewer of our show, if you've enjoyed what we've been putting out and we say something wrong, I want you to go down to our comment section and not type anything we don't give a shit.
No, type something, just not that. Type, hey guys, love the podcast. XO, less than 3, and then sign your name.
Yeah.
Or your username. We don't need your real name.
That's how we'll know we mispronounced something. And just do that. And don't tell us what we did.
Yeah. Let us do the work.
Yeah, let us do the work. And I'm sure we'll correct it on the next episode.
Oh, we will.
Yeah, we got a great correction rate and always get things right. Never have any issues. The Junji Ito episode was perfect.
What was wrong? I don't even want to know what was wrong with the Junji Ito. But you know what? I do need to correct. In a previous episode, I said there was... I think it was the Space Brothers episode.
Okay.
In the Space Brothers episode, I said there were 356 individual routes in the Shadow the Hedgehog game.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
It's 326. My apologies.
You goddamn piece of shit.
This has been eating me up for, months at this point. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Dude... I sit around and, you know what's fucking great? You get away with this dumb bullshit. There's stuff in the Junji Ito episode that I said was just, objectively wrong. Just, dumb as shit, basic bitch, dumb shit that I said. And, I sit with that every day.
Well, the good news is we have 18 subscribers. And we one day we may get more. A clip of us might blow up on Reddit or something. Yeah. Who knows? And then you'll get blown up for it.
You know what's fucking funny? I had this thought the other day. I was like, we beat that subscriber count that I was going for. I think I wanted 17, so I had more than my random channel that I don't post anything on. We hit 18 or 19 or whatever, and I was like, fuck it. Let's just get the most subscribers. Let's beat PewDiePie.
It's never enough for you.
It's never enough. No, we need all of them. Just this weird sadistic thought of how do I get 1 million subs? And it's oh, you have to advertise to children. Oh, I don't want a child.
We have to advertise to children. We have to say a lot more racial slurs.
Oh, well, all right.
Really lacking.
Hey, Bakari, what's your favorite racial slur?
So what have you been playing lately? You talked about near replicant version 1.22474487139, but what are you playing?
Oh, man. I have been playing, what have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect. They put out the remaster.
That's right.
And, it's such a funny fucking feeling for me, because I hate EA. I hate a lot of their practices. I try to put my wallet where my mouth is. Even though I just dunked on Sacanime for half an hour. And
wait, you try to put your money where your mouth is.
So, and ultimately what I'm saying is, I put my money where my mouth is. That's what I say. And I don't do that shit at all.
You buy things that you talk shit about? Is that what you mean?
Absolutely. I only buy things that I
don't think that's what that idiom means, but I'm into it.
I'm pretty sure it means if you hate something, my mouth is on EA, I vocally hate it. I put my wallet on it, and that means I should support and buy what they're doing.
That means you have bought the right to talk shit about it?
Yeah. So because I bought Sacanime tickets, my opinion's more valid than yours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was buying validation for our podcast. Validity. Yeah. So, anyways, it's one of those things where it's I looked at it, I was like, all right, EA sucks. I'm not going to buy their remaster. And I sat there for a while, and I was like, but God, I can't quit Mass Effect. God, I love this original trilogy. That original trilogy is I know I said top 5 anime. Top 5 games is that fucking trilogy. If I had to pick one, I would, but I just slot the whole trilogy in there.
So 1 through 3 is Mass Effect, and then there's 2 others.
There's 2 others. It's Metal Gear Revengeance as number 1, and then Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, and then Metal Gear Revengeance as number 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All so right. it sandwiches it there and there, and I think that makes me a good gamer.
It's like a palindrome almost.
Yeah. It's Metal Gear Rising Revengeance backwards.
Yes.
Yeah, and
there you go. I honestly didn't realize until this came out how many people really loved Mass Effect. Loved it with in an emotional this is the shit I grew up with kind of way.
When I booted up Mass Effect 1 to play it, this basic fucking song kicks in on the start screen, and that nostalgic twist that you get when you feel something from your childhood. I got it, and then I pressed the start button, and it made this boom noise, and I was like, oh,
I mean, I played a lot of Mass Effect as a teenager. Feeling. Like, maybe I should, like, I'm honestly curious if I'll, like, get any of that, like, resonance. Because I played a lot of it as a teenager, too. Like, 1 and 2. I never played 3. But, maybe I'll get that. Who knows?
Yeah, honestly, man, I think, like, Mass Effect has issues, and I feel like it's one of those things where if you didn't like it when you were younger, it might be harder to get into now, but like it's so rough around the edges, and then all of a sudden it just presents you with this situation. It's like, okay, who dies? And you're like, well, I like both those characters. Wait, hold on. When the fuck did this weird ass game with like these janky ass ragdoll physics and all this stuff just present me with the situation of like, okay, who's gonna die?
You had trouble making that choice.
Don't spoil it.
Ah, shit. Wait, no.
All right, you gotta.
We might end up having to delete that.
You gotta bleep that part.
All right, I'll bleep it.
Because my big thing is I'm very excited to get my girlfriend Bernadette to play it.
Oh, and she's gonna listen to this part.
She's gonna listen to this part.
Okay.
And I'm so excited to see what she chooses. One of the favorite things about Mass Effect.
There is a right and wrong answer. Just so you know.
There kind of it. There really is.
Oh,
yeah. Especially on this playthrough, I was like, what? Anyways, I got to my thing where a lot of my nostalgia comes from is I had a couple friends who were playing it at the same time as me, but we would play the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer like every night.
Damn.
And then we would play the story mode on our own time. And I was working with one of the people, and she was dating another friend at the time. Uh-huh. And so I was just hearing about their choices in the story mode. At certain moments in 3, like I had a friend who was like, yeah, I cried. Like that was beautiful. That hit me hard. And there's choices now playing Mass Effect 3 as an adult. Like as a younger person, I was very much a trolley problem kind of guy. Like it's, you do, like one option is like one person dies and the other person, it's strictly a numbers thing when it came to like life and death.
Sure.
Right. And as I've gotten older, not that Mass Effect is super responsive to this, but I'm just like, there's oftentimes a third option. There's a way to save everyone.
Yeah.
And if you just spend a little time and think about it, you can figure it out, And I just have more respect for life now as a person who's no longer working in retail than I did back then. It's not strictly numbers. It's how do we get everybody to be okay?
See, that's the thing that kind of worries me about, like, revisiting Mass Effect is because, like, when I first played Mass Effect, I had, like, no frame of reference for politics, really. Like, I thought politics was that thing that, like, stupid people talked about, and I was like, I'm 15 and I'm way above that, or 16, however old I was. And now, like, I'm not saying I am well-read or well-learned by any means, but I know more. And I'm kind of afraid to see what EA thinks is a good guy and about Paragon and Renegade, like what they think is good politically, because I mean, it is a very politically charged game at the end of the day.
Yeah. And there is some jank. Like the Paragon is sometimes you're a good guy and sometimes you're just straight up a cop. Like you're like, yeah, the system's not broken. It just has some issues.
I've read that Paragon is like pretty much peak, like liberal centrist type thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not every moment, but a lot of the times it is like, sometimes it is like, hey, we don't have to just go down this path of, like, this trolley problem path. Like, let's find a different avenue. That's Paragon sometimes. But Renegade sometimes is, like, really fun where you're like, yeah, let's kill all these, like, bad dudes. And then the character's like, I can't wait to soak in their blood. And it's like, what the fuck did you just say, Shepard? Like,
Renegade is just space racist, right?
Space racist a lot of the time, too. And in Mass Effect 2, it's really rough because you just come across, like, the game railroads you pretty hard, and I think Mass Effect 2 especially expects you to be a Paragon player, and when you play Renegade, you just come across as like a crybaby, where you're like, I don't like having aliens on my ship. I don't like going to these places. I don't want to go where the elusive man tells me. And it's like, well, and other characters just have to be like, dude, we have to do it. It's what is required. Otherwise, they're going to kill all the other people. We have to go. And you're just like, I don't want to. Like, you're like a racist crybaby. It's the worst. And everyone still believes in you for some reason.
Because you're the Spectre?
You're a Spectre,
You're a Spectre.
And that's the other thing that's, like, fucked up playing it as an adult. It's like, there's this whole system of, like, yeah, you're Judge Dredd. Like, just go do that. And it's like, there's no evaluation of, like, how that's fucked up. Like, you are chasing after a Spectre who they didn't want to kill because he's a specter. And it's like, so this system's fucked. You
Yeah.
can't have people who just get unlimited extrajudicial, like, fucking killing. And they're like, no, it's fine. It's just that dude, Sarah. That dude's a bad dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying it's perfect, but it does get you with some good decisions, you know? Like, there's like, what does it mean to be alive? What is sentience? What does it mean if you are at a crossroads and you have to choose between two people? You know, it's really interesting a lot of the times. And the world is just so beautiful and, like,
that's true. It's a very pretty game. Yeah.
It's a pretty game, and, like, it's very well fleshed out. Like, anything that they don't explain through dialogue, you can look up in the codex, and, like, it's just, like, how, Element Zero works, and how all these other physics items works. I love it. I'm totally consumed by Mass Effect.
I had a sociology teacher in college, who she had us do the whole, like, you know, introduce yourself to the class first day of school, or like first day of the semester kind of thing. And, like, you know, I went up and she said, and I'd had one of her classes before, and she was like, you got some hobbies? And I was like, you know, cause I learned all this about you last time. And I said, I like video games quite a bit. And she said, what you playing? I said, Mass Effect 2. And she said, who you romancing? And I just, like, didn't really answer right away. She said, it's Miranda, isn't it? I was like, might be. And she said, I expected better from you, Bakari. Sit down.
Yeah, Ass Effect character. Yeah.
I didn't know any better. I didn't know what people were saying about that character.
So, you know what
She was just the one normal human one. And I didn't appreciate Jack at the time. I like Jack a lot better now.
Yeah. It's so this playthrough, I'm not romancing anybody. Like, I just want to see what the game is like as, like, no fucking weird ass sex scene. Like, how do I relate to everybody as a friend?
Right.
And it's so fucking funny to me because I was able to shoot down, I'm playing as a male character, and I was able to shoot down Liara, but, I said I would get a drink with Ashley. Oh. And Ashley was just like, I didn't have a dialogue option that wasn't horny after that one, where it's like, do you still think about me? What about this? What about me? What about... It's like, shut up. I don't want to date her. She kind of sucks.
Yeah. She very much sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mass Effect's a good time. I might pick that up. You might have just talked me into it, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I said, EA, garbage company, but... God damn, I can't quit Mass Effect. It's so good. And it's so nice having, like, them, and it's got all the DLC and shit, and a bunch of it I didn't play. EA's good. I love EA. EA has no problems.
Hey, you know that Star Wars game they put out, it didn't have any microtransactions.
Well, and I missed the one that did, you know? Let me buy my way to power.
There you go.
I need that sense of accomplishment and pride.
Wow, yeah, actually, I think that's actually what they said. I had forgotten all about that.
Yeah, the highest upvoted comment ever.
What? Really?
No, the highest downvoted, if we're talking really.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, I thought that was a YouTube. Wait. Oh, yeah, okay. No, I remember now. It's like an AMA or something like that. Yeah, I'm not hip to the...
You gotta get hip, dude.
Not hip to Reddit these days.
I'm just hip to video games. Reddit's a hellhole, so I've avoided it.
Reddit, the only thing that Reddit does for me is, like, sometimes I need an answer on something tech inclined.
Yeah.
Sometimes just in general. And on my Google search, I will put Reddit at the end of the query and usually get a better answer.
Yeah, Reddit's good for tech advice. Yeah. I'm on Reddit for... There's Total Warhammer 3 coming out later this year, and I'm way too hyped for it.
That's exciting.
Like irresponsibly hyped for it. And a big part of the Reddit is, so there's this Russian inspired faction called Kislev.
Okay.
And they have, this is the coolest fucking thing. It is mortars pulled by bears, and the bears and the mortars are sitting on this like magic sheet of ice that is like magically summoned, and so the bears are pulling the sheet of ice with mortars on it to go kill demons.
That sounds great. There's demons in Warhammer?
Yeah, hella demons.
Crazy.
That's like a huge thing.
Wow, okay.
And this whole...
I thought there was just rats.
This whole third game, just hella demons.
Sick.
It's all about the 4 Chaos Gods of all. So you have this like, it's bears pulling mortars, and the mortars are on this magic ice, and everyone's like, that's unrealistic. I want the mortars to be on like these wagons that have wheels so that the bears can pull them that way. It's like,
but it's magic ice.
But it's magic ice. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And it's in this universe where there is a fucking like pirate ship zombie Gundam that just has like cannons for arms, and like it fucking rules. And there's so much shit like that rules. And then it's like, this human faction has just like a little bit of magic and fantasy. And people are like, no, they're fucking up. This is supposed to have wheels. It's supposed to be a wagon. Like,
we went
God
wrong.
Damn it!
We went wrong somewhere. There was a time, like, I've always been of the school of thought that, like, a video game character using something for a thing that it's absolutely not meant to be used for is always sick as hell. Like, Sonic Adventure 2, the very beginning of it, Sonic grabs a piece of metal from the helicopter he's escaping from, and then he uses it as, like, a snowboard to quote, snowboard down the streets, the hills of San Francisco, pseudo San Francisco area. Yep. Like, that's sick as it. Guilty Gear. There's a dude.
Guilty Gear's just full of that
There's
shit.
a dude who whacks people with the flag. There's a lady what hits people with a giant magical key, but not like in a Kingdom Hearts kind of way. It's like really big.
You got Eno hitting people with guitars.
With a guitar.
You got whatever the pool player guy is.
Oh, Venom. Yeah, Venom. Venom's sick.
Yeah, he's just beating the shit out of like a sword guy with a pool cue. Fuck yeah.
It's fucking Dr. Faust, he's got that giant, humongous scalpel. It's like a 7-foot scalpel.
Yeah.
It's sick. I love that. So, like, when people say, like, well, that should be a wagon, not a giant sheet of ice, it's like, what happened to you? Like, where did your sense of joy go?
You know what else is fucking cool, dude?
What's that?
Is a fucking, like, imagine, like, a samurai who had, like, prosthetic arms, and he could pull off those arms, and they would have, like, blades in them.
That sounds sick.
And he would just be able to fight demons all day.
Yeah?
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about Dororo now, I think.
Good transition. I like that. Yeah.
You know what's fucking cool as hell? Fucking Dororo.
Dororo was sick as shit. Like, I knew it was gonna be good, but like, I'm like itching to go home and watch more of that. I think I gotta get my girlfriend into it so I can keep watching it, like, outside of work hours.
Yeah, no, or we just have to do more episodes.
Yeah, we'll just have
keep watching as an excuse to watch more.
This is no longer an anime podcast. It is a Dororo podcast.
Yeah. Oh,
it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so spoiler alert to what we're probably going to rate it, but...
Total garbage.
Total garbage.
Fuck
this
it.
show's shit,
Yeah.
and I hate it. I just hate I hate how unrealistic it is.
I hate how fucking cool it is. And how sick the action is.
Like, when he was, like, doing all these sick flips and jumping and fighting the trash demon thing, I was like, that doesn't make any sense because, one, how does he jump that far? And two, demons aren't real outside of hell unless, like, you've committed a great sin.
Yeah.
So it's just like, come on, guys. This sucks.
It just doesn't work.
And that's the end of the podcast. So what do you got to promote?
So you can find me on twitter.com/Bakfu. I might change that URL soon, and this will be outdated, but I haven't yet. So it goes.
All right. Well, no, real talk. This show rules.
It does. Yeah.
It's straight up, jokes aside, this is fucking great.
Yes.
And it's like with our fucking, keep your hands off Azoken. We are just gonna fucking gush for like the next hour, 2 hours, 8 hours, however long this fucking podcast is.
There's a lot of gushing to do.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm so excited. So, we're talking about the anime Dororo.
Dororo.
Not Doro Hidoro.
No.
We're talking about Dororo.
Correct. This is based on the 1960-something manga by Osamu Tezuka, who also made Astro Boy, Blackjack, and other things. Yeah,
and it's fucking wild because it's very different than what he originally did.
Yes. I read like a little bit of the original Dororo, like 2 chapters maybe, and it's very cartoony. It looks kind of like a cross between Steamboat Willie and Popeye, but like a little more anime-ish.
Yeah, and it's like it's darker than his other stuff from what I've heard, but...
I don't know about Astro Boy. It's definitely a smidge darker than Blackjack, but Blackjack is also a little like messed up in a similar way.
Yeah, and I will say, at least for my part, the understanding I have of the difference between the original Dororo and the one that we just watched, I have entirely from a Mother's Basement video, so I have not read any of the 1960-something anime or the manga. So,
yeah. My experience with the manga was like very limited and very long ago. But it is like the story seems more or less the same, but like, they take a lot of liberties with like the finer details that like, as we watched in the Mother's Basement video, like definitely changes the tone and like the themes of it quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So, for anybody that's listening to this and refuses to watch the show, what is Dororo about?
So, Dororo is about the samurai Hyakimaru, whose father, Daigo Kagemitsu.
Wow.
It sounded like I was reading that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're just looking at my Google Keep notes.
I think it means 3 shadows.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'll trust you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you should. So Daigo Kagemitsu makes a deal with the either 12 or 48 demons. Mm-hmm. And the subs we watched, I'm pretty sure it said 12, but others have said 48, and 48 sounds right. Like, that's what I remember too. So, like, remember's a strong word. Anyway.
We could have missed something.
Some amount of demons.
Yep,
he makes a deal with some amount of demons, a multiple of 12, that he wants to be the ruler of the land because there's all this famine and disease going on. It's very not good. And he also wants power, like, let's be real. So he makes this deal. You can have anything you want and, just do that for me. And when his son is born, they, like, the 48 or 12 demons, between 12 and 48 demons, show up and they take all this baby's shit. They take his arms and his legs and his nose and his tongue and his ears and his skin and his fucking everything.
Yeah, he's basically left with, like, a torso, head, and, like, muscles.
He looks like the Binding of Isaac baby, but with, like, no arms. No, he's not a baby. But he looks like Isaac from the Binding of Isaac, but with, like, no skin and no arms or legs. And he can't cry because he has no eyes.
Right, yeah. Oh, poor baby.
Yeah. So he's, like, defenseless too. He can't, like, cry those, like, projectile bullets.
Yeah, he's got no tears.
Yeah. Anyway, he's supposed to, they give him to the somebody to, like, go drown, but, like, she's not gonna drown him because who's gonna drown a fucking baby? That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So she puts him on a boat, all Moses style, and then he's found by a prosthetics guy who makes him a whole new body pretty much, with sword arms, and it's sick. And he's got to go around fighting those demons so that he can get his body parts back. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a prosthetic samurai fighting demons, and it fucking rules.
It's sick.
This is, again, like what we were saying earlier, this is a premise that on its surface, if you were thinking about this realistically, it doesn't make a ton of sense, Yeah, he can see souls and shit like that, but, dude, you're dealing with a person who, like, he can't hear, he can't, whatever. This show rules. Yeah. And I love it.
It's sick. It's so good.
Yeah. So, episode 1 deals with the main, the name of the show is, Dororo is not the name of the prosthetic samurai, but is the name of, his child friend.
He's a spunky sidekick kid character.
He's a real rascal.
Yeah.
And, so a lot of that episode, so the first episode deals with how, Mr. No Name, I'm gonna fuck up his real name because it's more than like a syllable.
Hyakimaru.
It's how he kind of gets into his situation to a certain extent, but mostly deals with. Oh my god, the hiccups! Deals with Dororo. By the way, if you can believe it, we're drinking beer right now.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah. Wild thing. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
So it deals with Dororo, and I really like Dororo. As a contrast to, I'm going to immediately lose it, Mr. No Name, because I like the two, because he's very talkative, he's very excited, and he's very confident about everything that he does. Whereas, like, we've got our prosthetic samurai who can't speak, can't hear, can't see, all of these, like, sort of issues, but, like, is this incredible fighter and does all these different things. And the way those two work together, I absolutely love.
It's got kind of have you ever seen Afro Samurai?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's got kind of an Afro Samurai, like Afro and Ninja kind of vibe. Like, Afro is such a quiet character that he needs Ninja to, like, more or less say what he's thinking or, like, comment on the situation because we know that Afro is not going to. That, like, kind of works double for Hyakimaru and Dororo because, like, Hyakimaru literally can't talk, see, smell, taste anything.
Right.
So, like, not only is Dororo kind of like his eyes and ears, and like his sort of connection, like his ability to interact with people, but like also he's the person that we attach to and we go like, oh, okay, like, we can see the world through his eyes and we can see all the crazy shit Hyakimaru does through his eyes.
Right. And it works really well with Dororo too, because, as they meet the character, the blind monk, or the blind...
I don't think he ever has a name. I don't think he's ever said his name.
Yeah, but the blind monk who can talk and can explain what Yakimaru is going through, it's like Dororo serves as a really fun character in a contrast, and also the audience's ability to understand what is happening in the show. Mm-hmm. Because Yakimaru can see souls.
Yes.
And that's how so if you have like a white soul, you're like a good person, you're generally okay. But if you're like hostile, or if you're like a demon, you have this like red silhouette to you.
Yes.
And
there's other colors like green, which I haven't quite been able to place. Like, I don't know where that works on the spectrum.
They might have explained it, but we may have been making like jokes during that time. It's one of the difficulties of watching the show together.
I wouldn't put that past us, yeah.
But it didn't seem like a huge issue to not fully understand all the colors. But the gist of it is he can tell who people are in a Matrix / Daredevil movie sort of vibe.
Quite so.
You know?
Quite so.
But yeah, I really liked this first episode. I really liked the animation on this show. I did not think it was going to be like, I thought this was like some kind of like, because it's based on this older show. I was like, oh, okay, it's got to be just kind of this lower budget thing. But like, no. Oh my god, the animation's good.
I really expected, I guess I don't know what I expected, but like, I mean, Studio Mappa has been like around for a while. Yeah. Like, you know, they've sort of become the go-to name for like any big action thing. They did the most recent run of Hajime no Ippo. They did seasons 3 and 4 of Attack on Titan. They did fucking Doro Hey Doro. They're gonna do Chainsaw Man.
I'm wearing my Doro Hey Doro shirt.
You are. I'm wearing a Sonic shirt, but I mean, what else is new? I got a Sonic mask in my pocket too.
Yeah, and that's I love Studio Trigger. I don't dislike anything that they've really made for the most part.
Did you ever watch Kisniver?
Only a little bit.
We should do an episode on that sometime.
Okay, maybe that's a good way to go.
We might have to watch the whole thing. That might be one of them we gotta do the whole thing on.
Yeah, we got a lot of those planned, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We'll get into this at the end.
Yeah, we did one. We did Chainsaw Man.
Well, I count it. We've got other plans, unfortunately.
That's right.
God damn it. But anyways,
keep an ear out for that Attack on Titan episode.
I
have
really,
thoughts.
I really like Studio Mappa, because I feel like it's so funny that like I was like, oh, Doro Hey Doro, it's really, really good, and you're like, no, we should watch Dororo, and it's like we still got the same studio right as far as like, oh, we both want to watch this really cool show. Yeah. You know? And they're doing like Jujutsu Kaisen, they're doing
That's right.
They're gonna do Chainsaw Man and all that. Like, this podcast, I think, will very quickly turn into just like what is Mappa released podcast?
Mappa School Dropouts.
Absolutely. Because, like, I haven't seen every Mappa show, but everything that I've seen is, like, real top tier for me.
I've never seen one that's been, like, even anywhere close to like bad. Like there's been some that I've enjoyed a lot more than others. Yeah. But I've never seen one that I was like not that like I had any problem with the action sequences in.
Oh yeah, right. Like even Doro Hey Doro is like that's got that weird kind of Netflix animation to it, and even then I was like, this works for this like weird like kind of punk like grungy kind of show.
That's the thing. I said the same thing about Berserk 2016. There's a lot of problems with Berserk 2016, and it wasn't done by Mappa. That's not the connection I'm trying to draw. But like that sort of like, you know, almost grungy style does work really well for like those sorts of more like, you know, crusty, nasty kind of show, like plots, you know, in settings. Yeah. And I think they really, as like weird as that may be, like as you know, sort of a negative association we've had with like other not so great anime, in that style. I think that style really works for Doro Hey Doro, like a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is a very, like, the whole time I was watching it, I was like, this feels like, I'm sure it was high budget or whatever, but like, this feels like a very punk show.
Sure. And it should. That's the perfect, like, look at the fucking manga. I mean.
Yeah. I just bought the first issue.
Oh, sick. Yeah. Hell yeah. I read most of it on
little bag over there, so clearly I haven't read it. I only own it.
Well, it's a good time nonetheless. Also, I mentioned Berserk. I would be remiss if I didn't say rest in peace to Mr. Kentaro Miura. This is a real tragedy.
Is he the author died? Or?
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Shit. The author.
I'm not on Twitter anymore. Fuck.
Yeah, I guess you're not. Yeah, the author of Berserk passed away, May 6th. I don't quite know the cause of death, nor do I really, I don't need to know. But yeah, Berserk is something really special, and yeah, it's a real shame that he passed away.
Yeah, I know you've always been a huge Berserk guy, so that's such a shame.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have an ending or anything, right?
It's one of those things that, like, yeah, it didn't end, but like personally, I've gotten what I needed out of it, and like, I just got all the deluxe editions, and I'm looking forward to like reading through it proper. But yeah, he was a real master of his craft, and it's a shame to see him go.
Yeah, no, that's rough.
Yeah, and it's a real shame how like being a manga artist really drives people into the ground, like just the horrific work conditions that they put themselves through.
Yeah. No, I as Junji Ito fan number 1 over here. I watched like a documentary or something about like his work schedule and things like that, and god damn, I can understand crunch to a certain extent.
Sure.
Right? Like when I made that music video, maybe the last podcast, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whenever I made it, I had to crunch to get it done.
Yeah.
But that was my choice. That was my thing that I was doing. And like, I can put in a 10-hour or 12-hour day or something,
Sure.
Like back to back. But like, when you got to do that like every day just to fucking get that done, that's brutal. And that's, it's inhuman. Like, people can't do that shit. People can do it for a couple days. You can push yourself a little bit here. I don't think there's an issue with that necessarily, as long as your boss isn't making you do it. If you're pushing yourself and you're working 12-hour days for like 3 or 4 days, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
But goddamn, doing that for more than 4 days.
There's manga artists who have been doing that for a while. I mean, I'm pretty sure like Masashi Kishimoto, the guy who wrote all the Naruto manga, I don't think if he missed a week, I never heard about it. You know what I mean? Like, he was all like, it's weekly updates with Shonen Jump, And those aren't short. And like, putting all that stuff together, even with like some people to help you, that's a lot of fucking work. Again, you can push yourself, but if pushing yourself becomes the regular thing, that's a hellscape. That's fucking awful. Yeah, it's not, I mean, we talked about this before with regards to video games. It's not crunch anymore when it's a regular part of your routine.
Yeah. If your regular routine is working 60 to 70 hours a week on something that's like not entirely yours or something, oh god, that sucks.
Yeah.
I've only had to do like push myself like that. Like, I've been fortunate. I've only had to do that a few times in my life.
Yeah.
But like, I left, speaking of graduating and everything, I had one semester where like I had to do that for like 2 weeks straight, basically.
That's
and
rough.
At the end of it, I got irrationally angry.
Yeah.
Like, I got just like, I hate everything. I don't like, if you would have, it was 3 a.m, which was the only like saving grace, or 3 or, it was probably closer to like 5 a.m. And I was just like, if any person were to have to deal with me, I would have fucking, you wouldn't be my friend anymore. I would have been an absolute nightmare person.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's serious. And it causes real health problems. I mean, like, I certainly don't know enough to like, say that Miura's death was the cause, or that was the cause of Miura's death or anything like that. But I mean, it certainly couldn't have helped. I feel so bad. I never remember his first name. Togashi, the guy who wrote Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. He
is like on like just constant bed rest because of the damage that mangaka lifestyle has done to him, Yeah. And it's a real shame. Like, these are people who make some of my favorite things in the world, and I want better for them. I want less chapters, less often, with worse art, because I want them to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I will take Junji Ito shit over him having to just work himself to the bone.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy, too. Every interview I've ever seen with him, he just seems like so humble and so nice and so appreciative of where he is. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this man should never suffer. And it's the same for I've never read a manga where I was like, work harder, What a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, to make a manga series in whatever capacity is like a Herculean feat, and I respect the hell out of anybody who does that, and I want them to be able to live happy and fulfilling lives outside of their careers.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Miura-san, gonna miss you a lot. But yeah,
God.
I didn't mean to throw this all off the rails, but like, felt
listen,
right to say that.
I feel like this is the thing of our podcast. Anytime we can talk about, I don't know.
Something other than the thing we're supposed to be talking about.
Talking about the other thing we're talking about. But I feel like you and I also have, like, passion about, like, labor issues and, like, how people should be treated.
Very true.
And things like that, Anyways, all right, let's get back into Dororo.
Right. Episode 2?
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Just to get us all back on track, Dororo rules.
Yes.
His fighting demons, his fucking pulling off his arms to reveal swords.
Yes.
All of this shit fucking rules.
All sick. It's
all
sick as hell.
All cool.
Also, he kills a demon in the first episode, and he grows his skin back.
Yeah.
He's got a face now.
And that's kind of the theme of this show, is that he's getting things back as he kills this demon. Because he had nothing but, like, baby bones, baby muscle, and like a torso and a head, and that was about it.
Pretty much.
And he's recovering all of these other things by killing demons.
Yes. If he kills the demon that has his thing, then he gets that thing back.
Yeah. Yeah. So episode 2 kind of starts to establish like how episode 1 is kind of the perfect episode 1 for me, where cool things happen, and then in episode 2 they explain how it works.
Totally.
And you should always keep your episode 1 exciting and your episode 2 a little more exposition-y.
Absolutely.
And so, let's see. This is the episode it's got the blind guy who kind of explains how Dororo probably sees souls.
Yes.
Because that's how he sees souls.
Yes.
And turns out, it's the same thing. Because we're the audience, so.
And this is the one with the village, that they need someone to eradicate some monster, what's been showing up and causing some harm.
Yeah.
And Dororo gets the great idea that Hyakimaru is a hell of a fighter. Let's go take care of that thingy. Get us some money for the road,
Yeah, and we were making jokes during it. It's like, I need to hire this, like, child hype man. I'm looking for jobs right now. Like, I want somebody who's going to be like, this guy can take care of things. He's hella good. And I don't want to say anything. I just want this child hype man to do everything.
You just got to stand there looking tough, looking capable,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's the best graphic designer. He's, like, designed hella stuff. He's so good. I'm just going to stand there, like, arms crossed, like, my portfolio is back there if you want to deal with it.
You don't even say that. The kid's going to bring the portfolio out for you.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you nonstop eye contact with whoever the kid's talking to. Wait for them to break it. That shows submission on their part.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be because I'll have fake eyes.
Exactly, because you'll have fake eyes, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I can't even tell where I'm looking.
Sounds good for a graphic designer, I think.
Yeah, you don't need eyeballs. No. Graphic designers, it's all intuition and, like, whatever AI is going to replace us.
Just vibes.
Just vibes. But I liked this episode. It's got one of those classic twists where it's like, you're in a village and they like you, but
the things aren't as they seem. Yeah.
And it still works with the episode really well. And this show kind of has this really good Monster of the Week kind of vibe.
Very much so.
To it. And I love Monster of the Week.
Absolutely.
You get a different theme every week. You get a little bit into the characters every week. And you're, like, you never have that, like, weird filler.
Yeah.
Where it's like, every episode something is happening because they're fighting something,
And the thing I really like about, like, this is just kind of what I like about the Monster of the Week formula in general, like, when it's done right, is that, like, each Monster of the Week does something to, like, it acts as a foil for the characters. Like, we get to learn a little bit more about Hyakimaru and kind of, like, his capability as far as, like, for lack of a better word, like a demon hunter. He sees a demon and he's like, that's not the one I'm looking for. That one doesn't have any hostility towards me. Doesn't swing.
Yeah.
But then, like, when he sees a human, like, what looks like a human, but he knows that it's a demon because he can see her soul, like, he's ready to go. It's on site.
That's the whole thing, is he can recognize that the lord of this village is a demon, and everybody else is like, no, get the fuck out. Like, stop, dude. Come on. And they, like, arrest him and, like, the other people. And, but, it's because he can see souls. He can see what's going on.
Exactly.
This episode also is really fun because it's like, you have Dororo, who's, like, pushing on Hyakimaru, who's like, no, this is a nice lady. But again, Dororo cannot see souls.
Yeah.
Like, he's a regular ass kid. So he doesn't see that, oh no, this person's a demon.
Yeah. And we learn more about, like, how Hyakimaru, like, sees the world because of that.
Yeah.
Like, because, the blind swordsman kind of acts as that, like, gives us an in to that. Because he can see the way that Hyakimaru does, but he can talk like a person who wasn't dismantled as a baby. So, best of both worlds there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love their dynamic there.
Yeah.
And
I like the blind monk a lot. He's a cool character.
The blind monk is a ton of fun because not only is he super badass, but it's also we were talking about it. There's this weird dynamic between the three of them where Hyakimaru can write in Japanese.
Yes.
The blind man can read that Japanese
with his hands.
Dororo cannot read or write Japanese. So between the three of them, they can start to communicate with each other.
Sorta.
Sort of.
Yeah.
And that's where you learn that it's really the end of episode 2 where you start to learn that Hyakimaru is named Hyakimaru.
Yes.
Before that, it's like, what's your name? He literally has no ability to respond.
Yeah. Yeah, he literally, writes in the dirt, Hyakimaru, and then Dororo's like, well, what's that say? I don't know how to read. Yeah. And then Blind Monk has to feel the words in the dirt in order to translate. Very handy-capable bunch.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's about teamwork.
Yes,
I always appreciate it's like Star Trek. It's not any one person is perfect. It's that how they work together.
It's true. It's true. Darkest Dungeon, Final Fantasy, any JRPG, really.
I like shows where no person is perfect, and it's how they work together that makes everything work.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I like. That's what I'm into, and that's what's so fun about Dororo to a certain extent. Because even though the blind monk guy isn't a permanent cast member, he's not always there. He is there a lot, and he does add a lot to the dynamic.
He shows up every other episode, more or less. Just kind of, he's like, oh, hey, you guys again. How fancy that? Let's travel for a bit. And then, fucks off at some point, Yeah, very cool character. Big fan.
Absolutely. So episode 3 is a flashback to how Hyakimaru, got his body parts and things like that. And it deals with, mostly through the viewpoint of this man who is making prosthetic limbs for people, who was on one side of a war and really regrets being a part of that war.
He's a war criminal, pretty much.
He's a war criminal.
Crucified people, literally. Nailed them to crosses.
Yeah, and he feels terrible about it. And his life now is about, helping people and trying to just forget the fucking war crimes that he did.
Yeah.
Not that he feels like it's okay that he did those things, but that, I have to die one day. I don't
know that his goal was necessarily to forget. Because, what he said, because he throws himself off a cliff.
Not to forget. Yeah.
He attempts suicide and is saved by some random passersby. And he takes that as a sign, from the Buddha, from the Buddha or whatever else, that his work is not done just yet. Mm-hmm. And so he sets up a clinic, so to speak, and he helps people who have been affected by the war. And when he's confronted about this, he basically says, I would never flatter myself with the idea that I could atone for my sins, but I want to do as much as good as I can before I pass.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a fun story because as fun as this story, this dark can be, because it gives a lot of personality to this person who is, for lack of a better term, he is Hyakimaru's father.
Yeah, he's very much his father figure. Kid. Yeah.
Yeah, and Hyakimaru can't respond, he can't do all sorts of things because he is, incapable of those things, he doesn't have those body parts. But, he's able to fight demons, and the prosthetic man, is I have to train him how to fight, because demons are showing up to try to... Because that's the other thing, is that the demons are trying to get what is left of Hyakimaru.
Yes.
They're not... It's not enough that they got the body parts that they got. They want the rest of it.
Yes.
And so the demons are going to be hunting him forever.
Yep. That's just... Not, I mean, I can't help but wonder if maybe Berserk, took a little bit of, influence from that, because that is a very guts thing. But yeah,
it would make sense, because this is an old manga.
Yeah, this is from, the 60s. This way predates, anything else that we're familiar with, you know? So yeah, he's, no matter where he goes, no matter what he does, he's always going to be hunted down by demons. The prosthetic man realizes this, and so he trains them in the way of the sword, and then just kind of makes his arms swords at some point, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he realizes that it's not enough that I can like teach you how to do things like Hyakimaru like proves very quickly that he's like a very capable person with his prosthetic limbs.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I have to really give you every advantage I can because you're facing hell right now, you know?
Literally.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a good episode because you see him. He's set up a little bit earlier. You don't exactly know who he is, but I appreciate this episode. There's a part where a character is ready to kill him because he was a part of the other side of the war, and in that war, his father died.
Yes,
you know, and he's like, I'm going to kill you. You killed my father, and he's like, let me help this other person. And it's really this like human moment where it's like, here's this person who did something bad in the past. They're trying to redeem themselves. But can you forgive them?
Yeah.
You know, for what they did? And in the end, the person doesn't kill them, but is like, I'm not going to take any gifts from you. I'm not going to take anything. And just leaves. They leave their prosthetic leg behind. And it's like, it's a very human, like, how do you deal with somebody who in the past was a terrible person and is trying to redeem themselves? Do you kill them? Or do you, like, how do you... Yeah. I love that. I think it's super interesting.
And it's this kind of constant theme throughout, like, this idea of, like, you know, just, like, whatever period. I'm no expert on Japanese history. Sengoku period, whatever. Like, you know, that sort of period in Japan where, like, you know, there's just constant wars going on between all these different clans and houses and stuff. Like, a lot of the people who ended up paying the price for that were ordinary people, like, you know, villagers and whatnot, who didn't have that sort of access that, like, others would have had. And, like, it's this concept of, like, the things that are happening to you, the tragedies that are befalling you are not your fault, but they're still your problem. And how do you deal with that? And how do you, like, you know, go through that while still remaining that part of, like, you know, remaining, for lack of a better term, a good person? Like, how do you navigate the ethical pitfalls of that?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't do that. Well, they end up doing things that, like, you know, they live to regret, or that, you know, end up passing on that misery and pain to other people and stuff. Yeah. And it's a really, like, this sounds disparaging to other anime, but it's a very mature theme for an anime, and it's handled very well, in my opinion.
Yeah, that there isn't a right answer.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have killed him. Or, oh, because you let him live, you know, it's a good thing. It's like, this is the character doesn't end on you're, okay, I get that you did that thing, but it's okay. I am done with you because of the terrible things that you did in the past.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill you, but... And I think that's super interesting.
This is something that I feel like it's just being kind of moved away from in general. But I'm really happy that we're kind of starting to veer away from, like, the constant internal monologues of characters.
Yeah.
Like,
in anime,
the fact, in anime, like, the fact that we kind of have to intuit a lot of what a character is feeling and going through, especially in the case of Hyakimaru, who, like, has fake eyes and shit. He can't, like, you know, emote at all, really. Like, the fact that, you know, it's up to the viewer to, like, interpret that, I think it makes it hit a lot harder.
Yeah.
It resonates a lot more, for me anyway.
No, I agree completely. And it's one of the reasons why I like Evangelion is, like, there's a lot of moments where they just sit with the characters. And you just have to infer their emotions from just sitting with them.
Yeah, like the elevator scene.
The elevator scene. There's a lot of scenes with, like, Shinji and,
Isato.
Yeah. Boy, it's rough, you know, and it's that's how their relationship is, you know.
Yeah.
And that things aren't clean. You don't know the answer to them, but like with most movies and things like that, you can infer what's happening by how characters respond to things.
Totally.
And I feel like I always feel like with movies, you can get away with it with books. But you cannot get away with it in movies and television and anime with internal monologues. Like, I watched this show, it was like this British show. It was about this, like... Doctor Who, and...
yes.
No, it was about this, like, this teenage couple who they run away from their parents and they do their own thing. And they try to use internal monologue as a... It'll be on the YouTube thing.
Sure, there you go.
But they try to use internal monologue as a way of, like, stylizing the show and showing how they feel. But the show, I am completely convinced if you cut the internal monologue from the show would be better for it. And I liked the show, but anytime a character was talking about what they were doing, I was like, obviously, because I can see that you're going through it because I'm watching the show.
Yeah.
You know, the internal monologue is for somebody who's like binging it on the side or something. Yeah. You know, it's like this show would just be better because it underserves the actors, it underserves the emotions of the scene.
Yeah.
Like, people can read what's happening. If you've done a good job, you do not need an internal monologue.
Yeah. We've been talking a lot recently about Hajime no Ippo. And I think that Hajime no Ippo actually handles that very well in the sense that, like, when it comes to things that, you know, I was going to say you and I, but, like, you know, I've spent some time boxing, so I don't understand a little bit more. But, like, the average viewer wouldn't really understand about, like, you know, the ins and outs of boxing and stuff like that. That's when the inner monologue comes in. Ippo goes like, oh, well, this character is like, you know, or this guy's like, you know, he gets a couple punches in, he backs it off, it's really elegant box, that sort of thing. But when it comes to actually the interpersonal, like, you know, relationships between him and Takamura and everybody else, we don't get a lot of inner dialogue.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really boils down to, like, when he's in a fight. Like, other characters, because it's not just Ippo, but it's also other characters will respond with their own internal monologue.
Yeah.
Oh, if Ippo doesn't do this, he's going to get knocked out. If Ippo does, Ippo did that, so now this can happen.
And you get to hear what his opponent is thinking a lot of the time, too.
Right. And I think that's really helpful for, like, when you're watching, like, a show that is obviously not an actual fight. They cannot animate a full-on, just, you're gonna watch from one camera angle fight.
Yeah.
Like, you need that kind of dialogue, you know? To ground you in, like, okay, who's winning, who's losing, stuff like that.
Totally. Like, I think there is definitely, like, a right place for those internal monologues in, like, anime and manga.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I like that this show does not rely on that. In fact, it never uses it to show us how a character is feeling, why they're doing what they're doing, anything like that. Mm-hmm. I think that's really cool. It helps to take it a lot more seriously, I think.
Okay, so episode 4, I liked, again, this is the most, like, kind of, like, monster of the week kind of episode.
I was gonna say, if ever there was a filler episode, this is the one.
Yeah, and it's still super good. Like, I don't want to dismiss it, but it's basically that there is a sword, instead of, like, the usual demons, like, you got trash demon, you got demon who's, like, has a person as, like, a tail.
Yeah.
It is... No, the sword is the demon. And the sword craves blood. Mm-hmm. And you learn why the sword wants blood. You learn the wielder was not that kind of psychopath, but has become that because of the sword. And there's my favorite part where Dororo picks up the sword and is bound by the sword to go in a certain direction. He's like, I don't wanna!
And he seems to be, like, resisting that a lot more than the initial guy was. And I love how, so, like, the way that, we get a flashback, I can't remember the character's name, the one who originally had the sword.
Yeah.
We get a flashback for when he was in, like, you know, whatever army, and he's tasked with executing this enemy soldier or whatever.
No, he's tasked with executing the guys who built the castle for the Lord.
Oh! I didn't catch that part.
So the whole thing is that he wants him to execute all the people who built the castle because they're the only people who will know the weakness to the castle.
Oh.
So these people did nothing wrong.
That makes even more sense.
They could do something wrong in the future.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's even better.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so he's tasked with killing this person who did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And he, like, basically he doesn't have the heart to do it. Like, you know, this is just some guy. Right? And then
this is the guy who did his job.
Yeah. And then the captain or whatever throws him the cursed sword. And, like, you know, he says, like, well, okay, it's you or him. You either kill that guy or kill yourself with this. And then he has to, like, you know, hack through the guy's neck multiple swings.
The sword is super rusty.
Yeah. And, like, it felt almost like this sort of, like, thematic parallel, like, between himself and, like, what he had to go through in that moment. And the sword, like, how it's, like, made him... like shed the blood of the innocent, and, like, you know, what the second that he makes that decision, like, okay, I gotta kill this guy because it's him or me. The second he does that, the sword, all the rust falls off, the letters start glowing. It's like, okay, you and me, we're the same. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You know?
And he kills all the other prisoners that he has to kill. And then he also kills everyone else because now the sword is super bloodthirsty, you know?
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. And he almost has, like, a drug addiction to the sword.
Yeah. Yeah, when when he is freed of its curse, when it's taken away from him, he still wants it back.
He still wants it back. And it's really funny because there's a character you meet in the beginning of the episode that Dororo refers to like, oh, you look really good. There's no way that you're like a country girl. Like, you must have come from somewhere else. And she's like, no, that's not the case. But you learn that they were brother and sister. Mm-hmm. And when he killed everybody, including his lord, she probably lost her position as like, in wherever she was.
Probably.
And so that's why, she was well taken care of for a time, but her brother kind of fucked that up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He sure did.
And I think that's a really nice storytelling touch, you know?
Yeah.
And
the amount of thought that has gone into this, like the way that this story is being told, because a lot of this didn't, like a lot of those details weren't in the original series.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, like, this is a very new interpretation of it. And I think a lot of the little details and nuances that go into it do nothing but enhance what was already there.
Well, the big thing is there's no sort of, like, fluff or anything like that. Yeah. There's no addition of a character that doesn't add anything to the plot. There's no anything, like, every character moves everything forward. Like, again, with that girl character who's there at the beginning, who's worried about, goddamn... It was didn't say his name long enough.
Hyakimaru? Hyakimaru.
Yeah. She's worried about him standing out there, but again, who is she? Like, who cares? She's not a character that was there previously. It's just Dororo talking to her. And then she is important.
Yeah.
And she does play a role. And it makes sense why she's in the position that she's in.
Totally.
And it's just so goddamn smart.
Mm-hmm.
There's no character that is added where you're just like, alright, yeah, I don't get it. You spend all this time on their backstory, but like, who cares?
Yeah, like even the most like we said, this is like as far as the 6 episodes we watched go, like this is the most monster of the week filler throwaway episode, and it still does so much to like advance the plot and also like, add to, like, the thematic tapestry, like, what the show is supposed to be about, like, beyond just, like, plot points.
Yeah, there's that great moment where Dororo is fighting Hyakimaru, and, and you're like, oh my god, is he gonna kill Dororo? Because he can't tell because his vision is fucked?
Yeah.
And then as soon as he disarms Dororo, he stops fighting him.
Yeah.
Because he gets it. It's the sword is the threat, not you.
Totally.
Know? And maybe even to a certain extent, he can recognize Dororo's silhouette.
Yeah.
And they don't explicitly say it, but it's like, yeah, he's not going to kill his little friend,
That's his little sidekick. That's his hype man.
Absolutely. His little hype man. So, even in this, like, what could have been an absolute throwaway episode, I love it. I think it's so good.
That's a good way to put it. It could have been a whatever, just like, killing time till episode 5 sort of episode.
Yeah.
But it still added a lot to the overall, to the story of Hyakimaru and Dororo, which I thought was fantastic.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about the 5th episode.
Yes.
Or 5th and 6th episode.
Yeah, two-parter.
So it's a 2-parter going into this last part. I love any anime that leaves on such a good note on the 6th episode.
Just wonderful. This and, what else did that? We watched something else recently that did that.
I don't know. I've been thinking about Hajime no Ippo that has a great first 6 episodes.
I mean, you want to do... We've both watched it prior, but, like, if you ever want to do an episode on Hajime no Ippo...
I mean, listen, we did not talk about what we were going to talk about next week. I want to watch trash, but Hajime no Ippo might be the thing to talk about.
Well, but that's the opposite of trash. That is high art.
I want to talk about trash because we've been watching too much good shit.
That's true. We've been a little too nice.
We've been way too nice. Do we only have one total garbage episode?
It's only Eat Man, yeah.
It's only Eat Man.
Episode 3. We have had... This will be the 10th episode, well, 9th episode of, at least mostly positive. I guess we were a little down on I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
We were down on I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, and we were down on Space Brothers.
I wouldn't say down on Space. I was perfectly ambivalent towards Space Brothers.
It wasn't a resounding success.
Yeah, no, that's very true. It wasn't like, extremely positive. It was just like, yeah, there it is.
I want to check too.
That's a show.
That's a show.
That's a show you could watch.
When did we release our first episode?
I want to say it was May. Wait, no, I have no idea.
10 months ago, according to July 22nd.
10 months?
We got to do our one month anniversary episode soon.
1 month anniversary?
1 year anniversary.
All right.
I've had a
That's
couple
next
beers.
month. Yeah, me too.
Our next episode might be our anniversary episode.
I think it's gonna be.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Knowing how long it takes me to fucking edit these things, like God, yeah, it's gonna be. If we make it on time.
Well, let's talk about these last couple episodes, and then maybe we'll figure out what we want to do.
I like it.
So, episode 5 and 6, super good. I really liked them.
Yeah.
The gist of the plot is that our crew, the blind monk, Dororo, and Hyakimaru are they come across this like an orphanage in the middle of a war.
Yeah, sort of a found family kind of situation. Lady
Yeah.
named Mio is taking care of a bunch of other war orphans.
Yeah, and one of the big problems is that Hyakimaru just got his ears back.
Yes.
And he can hear, and it is fucking him up completely.
Yeah, because this is the first time. It's the first time in his life, like hearing things.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
He got his sense of touch back in episode 3, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he puts his foot in a fire just to feel like whatever it feels
yeah,
like.
because he doesn't know any better.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's super. So that's what makes this, like, the whole rest of this part interesting. It's that he's really upset by sounds. He can't figure out where they're coming from. Because again, he only sees souls, so he can't see your mouth moving necessarily.
Yeah.
So he meets this character named Mio, who sings, and she's not even like necessarily a great singer, but it calms him down and it stops him from freaking out as bad.
She has a song that she always sings. She mentions that she sings it when she feels sad because it's a better alternative than crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, to jump ahead a bit, Mio is basically holding up at this temple with a bunch of orphans who have also lost their parents in this war. And on either side of this temple are two opposing armies.
Yeah.
And the reasons why they're fighting doesn't really matter. They're just fighting because they have to fight each other.
I think it's one of the armies does have the same emblem that Daigo Kagemitsu has.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say I think that they are part of that same clan or whatever.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Faction. Yeah.
But they're not fighting over like, oh, I have to win this war for a religious reason or a blah 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 reason. It's just like I have to fight because I have to fight.
Yes. Because that's what you do in feudal Japan.
Yeah.
You feud with
That's what
people.
you do in war.
That's
you gotta
right.
fight.
Yeah.
Ready to fight?
That's what they say.
So, unbeknownst to like the rest of the orphans, what she is working as, she goes between camps because she has to get enough food to feed all these children.
Yeah.
And she works as a prostitute.
Yeah.
And they do not treat her well as well. And
she comes home early in the morning with bruises, and she's all just, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things I like about this episode is that you have Dororo see what's happening, and it's like, oh, my mom never did that, but I understand why you're doing it.
That was a really cool thing to me, because, I feel like in media writ large, it's really easy to see, prostitution and other forms of sex work as this simple act of desperation. It's
seen a lot of times as the easy way out.
Yeah.
You could have worked hard, but instead you sold your body.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it almost felt as though they were going on that angle with Mio, resorting air quotes to sex work, and then Dororo shows up and he says that was the one thing my mom wouldn't do. And she died of starvation because she wouldn't do it. So, I respect her for, sticking to her values. I also respect you because you got people to take care of. My mom's not around for me anymore, and I respect the hell out of that.
Because Dororo's mom is dead.
Yeah.
He's an orphan child.
Kid fucking gets it.
Yeah.
He's the best pint-sized hype man you could ever find.
Because he's a little upset by it at first.
Yeah.
But he comes to understand. He understands the situation and gets why people do it. And in the case of Mio, she is a sex worker. There's nothing wrong with being a sex worker unless you don't want to be a sex worker. That's kind of the position that she's in. She's not that. It's really her only out for a lot of things.
Her clientele, for lack of a better word, they're certainly not treating her very well.
Right, absolutely. That's why she has those bruises and all these terrible
Yeah.
terrible things. But the big thing plot-wise is that she's working basically double shifts. She works at one camp on one side, and then she goes to the other side to work on the other side.
Yeah.
And it ends up fucking her by the end of it, where they're looking, like, there's a part, like, halfway through the 6th episode where they're like, we need to find spies because we're going to do this surprise attack because we can't wait for reinforcements. Not because we'll lose the battle, but because we'll look bad.
Yeah.
We'll look bad if we wait for reinforcements.
Yeah.
And so we have to kill spies. And they just, no trial, no nothing. They just, they kill her and they kill all of the orphans because they could be spies. Because they saw her going between camps.
Yeah. It's worth mentioning, I guess this is the part where we should backtrack a little bit. The blind monk, before he sort of takes off to go who the fuck knows where.
Oh, there's a whole other bunch of stuff that we jumped over that doesn't involve Mio, yeah.
The blind monk, oh god, yeah, we've skipped over like all of episode 5. Something that the blind monk mentions is that, like, you know, Hyakimaru is dealing with the fact that he's hearing things for the first time. And he's like really distraught by it. Like everything is scary and like, you know, new and loud and all this. And the only thing that he finds soothing is Mio singing. But like otherwise, like, I feel as though everything he hears is a potential threat.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where he's used to being able to suss out threats very efficiently with his like aura senses. Like all of a sudden, like everything sounds like something that could kill him in any moment.
Right.
And so, the blind monk likens it to a beast that is wounded and like, you know, hiding in a cave, like, you know, sort of resting in there. And that like, you know, he has to come out of that cave and that he has to like, you know, embrace the fact that like, yeah, there's loud and scary shit in the world and that he's gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And the person that comes out can either be someone who like accepts it head on and like, you know, tries his best to be a good person, or who responds to that fear with violence.
Well, yeah, with fear.
With fear, with more fear, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, he poses to Dororo, like, you know, which one will Hyakimaru be when he comes out?
Right. And that's the thing, is leading into this whole situation with Mio is a Hyakimaru who cares about Mio because she is the only person who can calm him down. And then also, there is this area not far from the temple that is guarded by this demon, and if they can kill the demon, this is an area where the orphans and everyone can go, they can farm, and no one would ever bother them.
Yeah.
And in their first attack, Hyakimaru fails. He gets his new leg bit, and just, it fucks him over. He can't fight the demon anymore.
Yeah, he loses his foot, like, from the calf down, pretty much.
Yeah, and the monk is like, okay, I have to get you out of here, otherwise you're gonna die. Because prior to that, he has like a fever or something like that. Because again,
because he gets injured in the fight with the last demon.
Yeah,
the one he got his hearing from, I think.
Yeah,
no, he got injured because of his hearing.
Well,
I don't remember.
He got injured by that bird as well.
Yeah,
because he has his hearing. He doesn't know what it means, and then the bird just came down and fucked him up.
Yeah.
All of that's to say that like he's not ready to fight what's happening.
Yes, the ant lion is the demon.
Yeah, and he just gets fucked up by it. And when he has to go back, he finally fucking succeeds because he lost his leg, but he learned how to fight, and he's learned a lot about other people as well, and what sounds are and things like that.
Yeah, he's learned to deal with his new senses, his senses of touch and hearing.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's gained the ability to like speak to a certain extent.
Yeah, he gets his voice back. Yeah,
he gets his voice back, and I don't think that's because he beat a demon. That was because he's always had it, but he's never known how to use it.
Interesting.
Because he doesn't beat the ant lion, but the ant lion bites his leg off.
Yeah,
and he starts
screaming. Yeah,
you know, and the screaming comes up again. So he beats the ant lion. He's got this safe place for the orphans and Mio to be. Mio has finally gotten the rice that they need to grow the rice paddy where they want to grow the rice paddy so they can feed all these children and stuff like that. And then one of the armies shows up and kills all of the children, kills Mio because she's been moving between the camps to make enough money to afford to feed these children. But they don't know that. They've just been seeing this woman move between the camps.
Yeah.
She must be a spy. Kill everyone.
Yeah, just butcher a whole bunch of kids.
Yeah, and it's brutal because they show the parts where kids get killed.
Honestly, like, straight up, eat shit like this up. Like, I love tragic fucking dark shit in whatever form. And not to be like an edgelord about it, it's just like, that's just shit I like. This got me choked up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it was harsh. Like, they built that up and knocked it down perfectly. Like,
yeah.
It was a real hard thing to watch.
It didn't feel cheap because it didn't feel like, oh, obviously these kids are going to be killed to do this thing.
Yeah.
You know, it really legitimately felt like maybe they'll get away, you know, or maybe something will happen. There might be a bit of a tragic part, but, you know, they'll find a way through it. We have this badass samurai guy here, you know, who can do all these things. And while he's away, all of the kids get killed. All of these terrible things happen.
Totally.
And so when he gets back, the question is raised. When Hyakkimaru comes back, is he going to be like a regular person, or is he going to be a monster as he comes out of this metaphorical cave? And he sees what happens. He sees what happened to Mio, who helped him like feel okay, and he fucking murders everybody.
Loses it. That's the first time we like. The first time we hear his voice is when he screams out in pain from having his leg bitten off. Aside from a couple grunts and whatnot, this is kind of the second time we hear him actually, like, vocalize. And it is out of rage. He's ready to kill everybody. And pretty much does.
And these kills are, like, particularly brutal.
The action in this show, I don't think we've talked about the action for the most part. The action is sick. This is, like, the sickest action.
This is here. There's a part where you're basically seeing, like, first person, him cutting a person's head apart in, like, 8 different ways. He is, like, angry. He is ready to murder every person that exists in, like, a 5-mile radius.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't want to say it's like beautiful or whatever, but like it's so well done. Like,
it's beautiful from like an artistic standpoint. Like, damn, some real work and genius went into like doing this.
And you want to see bad things happen to these terrible people, but it's also like, what does this mean about Hyakkimaru's, like, what is he losing as a part of all of this?
Yeah.
Because they repeat constantly, like, is he going to emerge from this cave as a monster? And goddamn, is
does.
he? Yeah, his exposure as he's getting more of his senses is that humanity is a nightmare.
Yeah,
that they will kill children, they will kill innocent women. That it doesn't matter. And so him killing those people, as much as it is like you're a goddamn piece of shit.
Yeah,
like, oh fuck, dude. There's a lot to take in from that part.
Yeah, I was having a conversation earlier today about this. The idea, like, you know, the sort of age-old idea that, like, all of mankind's, like, emotions stem from one of two things, fear or love, right?
Yeah.
And, like, that sort of, like, you know, it feels like sort of a parallel with what's going on. Like, you know, is he going to emerge as a beast or as, like, you know, a hero or whatever? Mm-hmm. And, like, when he starts just butchering the shit out of these guys, like, that is obviously out of, like, a very dark and negative place. Like, you know, as right as we feel as he is for doing so, like, you know, the fact is, like, what's done is done. These people are, like, not coming back. And, like, to kill every last one of these people, like, when does it stop?
Yeah.
Right? And, like...
yeah, does he have to go kill that whole army? And, like, what does that imply? Because all of those people probably had families as well. You know?
I mean... the just following orders thing historically doesn't hold up, but like,
right.
The fact is, like, you know, he brutalizes all these people. The last guy is already missing an arm, you know, from the beginning of it. And like, and Hyakkimaru is already going for the kill, and like Dororo has to stop him and like, you know, sort of put that, like, you cannot take that last step because then it might not be too late, or it might be too late.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess I'm kind of quoting the Mother's Basement video that we watched earlier in saying that, like, it's not 100% certain where he's going to land on that.
Right.
You know? Because it felt good to watch.
Right.
You know? Imagine him.
All those dudes.
Oh, yeah. So watch it again. That was a wonderful scene.
Right.
But, like, it's that sort of, like, the way you like the smell of gasoline, you know? Like, you know you shouldn't.
Right.
But, oof, it was so gratifying.
I, like, in an ideal world, right? Like, these people would do this bad thing, and then you could, like, put them on some sort of, like, trial. You could understand, like, okay, you did these things, but, like, how do we move on from this? And instead, it's just pure murder, and I get it. I get where he's coming from, you know? But it's like, there's got to be a better way. But there isn't. But, oh, God, I wish there was, you know?
If killing solves that problem, then, you know, what problems doesn't it solve, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
And I love how this episode ends and how Dororo and Hyakimaru are, like, interacting with each other. It's like, Dororo is like, I don't want him to be a monster. Like, he's not a monster.
Yeah.
He can recognize that this person is not a terrible person, but he's being put through these terrible circumstances that could absolutely turn him into a monster.
Yeah.
He could absolutely show up at his, like, family's compound and just kill everyone.
Yeah.
Whether they deserve it or not.
And that last guy that Hyakimaru ends up sparing because of Dororo, like, Dororo's intervention, that's the same person who was about to kill Dororo at the beginning of that scene. Yeah. Like, you know, that is a choice that Dororo himself has to make. Like, you know, it's to, like, because, I mean, if somebody was about to kill me and was only stopped by the fact that their arm got chopped off by my, like, you know, samurai puppet friend, yeah, I'd probably be like, at least kill that guy. This dude tried to kill me. Yeah. Right?
Well, you know,
it's a very mature choice for, you know, however old he is.
To bring it full circle to a certain extent. We talked about Mass Effect. We talked about a bunch of things.
Yeah.
One of the most, like, profound moments of my life. Are you familiar with, like, the Walking Dead Telltale game?
Yeah, I played the whole thing, the first one. So, I fell off in the second one.
Okay. Yeah, me too. So, but there is a part.
Wonder why.
There is a part. So I played through the whole game. I loved it. I thought it was incredible.
Same.
I had a friend play it, and we watched him play through it, and I thought it was so fun watching this person make other choices, and it was really, really fun. But there is a part where it's around the third or fourth chapter. I think it's the fourth chapter. There is a part where there is
that shitty college kid.
That shitty college kid.
That
and
shitty
he's
college
fucked
kid.
up everything, right?
I tried to kill that dude every possible time.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
And this is the whole thing. So there's a part where you're running up this bell tower and you're holding on to his arm, and he's fucked up everything up to this point.
Yes, every possible chance.
And you have a choice. Do you try to save him, or do you let him go?
Drop his ass.
And I dropped his ass.
Drop his ass.
Absolutely. I had a friend try to save his ass.
Yeah?
And at the end of the chapter, I was like, why did you try to save him? He was an absolute piece of shit.
Yeah.
And my friend just looked at me, he's like, but he was a person. He was a living, breathing person.
A shitty person.
Sure, but, like, he didn't deserve to just die. Like, he made mistakes, sure, but he never intentionally, like, killed someone. And again, he was
killed a lot of people, just unintentionally.
But he was a person.
Yeah.
And that really, not that I'm saying I would necessarily change what I would do.
I wouldn't.
But it got me, that moment where my friend didn't try to kill the guy who I obviously thought was a dumb piece of shit. It really made me think, like, I do not have the capability to judge who should live and who should die.
Sure.
I do not have that capability. And anytime I am ever asked that kind of capability, I don't have the answer. I do not believe that I know what is right and wrong, because that person was this is a world where so few people exist. So few people are still alive, and we're just going to kill a person.
Yeah.
I understood where my friend was coming from, and it changed me. It absolutely changed me about how I view human life and everything.
Yeah.
You know, it is no longer utilitarian. It is no longer a person is irredeemable. It is that a person exists and lives and can be redeemed.
Yeah.
You know? And god damn. And that's what I was thinking about, that all the way through Dororo, where it's like, yeah, fuck those guys. Fucking they were killing children. Absolute pieces of shit. But killing them, I'm not saying it was the wrong attitude, but we shouldn't ever be like, oh yeah, obviously, fucking kill them. Yeah. Whatever. They don't deserve human life.
Right. There's still a gravity to that decision.
That is a person. That person has a family. That person has people who care about them. You know? It is never that person exists in a vacuum.
Yeah.
You know? That doesn't happen. And we should consider who we kill.
Yeah.
Even if they're bad people.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's kind of the fun of, like, you know, most any, like, excessively violent media that you and I love to watch is, like, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love the Raid, where they're just fucking, like, jamming hella dudes into, like, doorways and shit.
It fucking rules.
It fucking rips ass, dude. I love
100%.
it. I'll get behind that anytime, but if we have to talk about who we're gonna take out, let's fucking talk about it, dude. And that's what I appreciate about the whole, like, Beast in the Cave and all that. Is like, yeah, these are bad people, but if we start viewing people as just, like, numbers, or in terms of, like, the action that they've only immediately done, we are getting to a dark place.
Yeah. And I think that there's, like, you know, I think it's fun, like, watching this kind of stuff. And,
because it felt great to watch that dude's head get cut open 8 different ways.
Oh, it was sick.
When all these kids are getting killed and
that
stuff
was
like
a
that.
beautiful shot.
God, that whole fucking action scene was incredible. But, it did leave me with a little bit of,
But that's the thing, is it lets you feel a little bit of that feeling. Like, obviously, we did not just experience what these characters experienced, but we got to feel a tiny, itty-bitty little fraction of that.
Well, and we probably got to experience a certain amount of what Hyakimaru is feeling. Where it's like, this bad thing has happened, and I feel good about rectifying this situation.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was cathartic watching that. Like, cause, you know, from the fucking second Mio shows up, and from the second that you see her and Hyakimaru having their moment, you know shit's gonna go down. This ain't that kind of show. Right?
This is not a happy show.
He does not do what he needs to do and then come back and he's like, hey, baby, let's grow some rice. And they live happily ever after. No.
Yeah.
But, like, it does a really good job of putting you in that position. And then, like, you know, you feeling that catharsis with Hyakimaru as he just, you know, fucking chops these people up. And then kind of coming to grips with it when Dororo shows up and is like, hey, you gotta stop that.
You gotta, listen, this guy sucks, but, like, you know, I don't know what the correct answer is. Maybe it's obliterating this dude in 8 different ways. It fucking ruled when I watched it, but...
We should do an episode on a silent voice.
Oh, it's coming.
It's coming. I think that's gonna have to happen. We'll find an excuse to work that into a holiday special.
Everybody
or something.
talks about it all the time. We're gonna.
You haven't seen it?
Something. No, I haven't.
Oh, okay, let's watch a silent voice.
It's depressing, so I'm not ready for it.
A silent voice in one sentence is about what it's like to be canceled and have to keep on living.
Oh, dude. Okay, I gotta know because it's coming for me.
Yeah,
I've said a lot of dumb shit.
It's gonna happen. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna cry. It's gonna be great. And I mean, listen. Let's hope that you and I never have to make any decisions about who lives or who dies. Ever.
Right. You know, that's the funny fucking thing about all this. I spent a lot of time, like, learning about utilitarianism and, like, reading about philosophy of that shit.
Yeah.
And, like, dealing with all those things. You're out of line. I got that.
Oh, damn.
You want some?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I spent a lot of time, like, you know, it's about numbers. It's about the trolley problem and all that.
Yeah.
It's fucking not. You know, the trolley problem doesn't exist. Like, it comes up as jokes and things like that, but, like, when we're talking about death, you know, not dumb bullshit about boomers not wanting to pay, I had to pay for college, so everyone else should.
Back when it cost $10.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the trolley problem applies.
Yeah.
But, like, most of the time, like, in a real abstract sense, it's like, you're never going to encounter a situation where it's like, if I kill one person, I'll save 1,000.
Yeah.
You know, that just doesn't exist.
No,
really.
yeah, you're right.
And I like shows, media, and things like that, like, not just dealing with death in a purely, if I just kill this one guy, if we just kill these 8 people who slaughtered these kids and all that, everything will be fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's who ordered that? What caused these things?
Yeah.
You know, what is the system that allowed for a prostitute and a bunch of orphans she was trying to keep alive? What allowed them to die? Because that system doesn't fucking die at the end of fucking Hikimaru's blade.
Yeah.
You know? Unless he's gonna go kill a billion or not a billion, but like a ton of fucking people.
Which, I mean, hey, maybe that's the way to do it, because a lot of big army that is his old man controls.
Just make him fucking kill her. You
know?
Yeah.
And we haven't mentioned it at all, but the Hyakimaru's father, Daigo Kagemitsu, has another heir a year later. I don't remember that kid's name.
I don't either.
But he looks like a little shit, and he's very good at sword fighting, and it's obvious if you watch the OP, that they're gonna throw down at some point, and I need to just go home and watch that, because I'm so ready.
No, me too. And it's interesting, too, because a lot of the stuff that you see him do is at the support of other people. Like, it's like, oh, I struck you down because I'm the strongest fighter ever, and it's like, well, it's some servant. Like, he was supposed to fucking die.
Yeah, that guy wasn't swinging back at him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting when the two run across each other.
I agree.
Because there's no reason for the second brother to absolutely hate Yakimaru either. You know, like, he doesn't know what he's been through. As far as he knows, the other brother is dead.
I don't know if he even knows that he existed in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like we've been trailing off for a bit, but
we're hitting some good points.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's good. It's good points.
Don't kill people. It's rough.
Yeah. If you can avoid it, do not kill people with your katana arms.
Exactly.
At least hold the blade in your hand as God intended.
Let's talk about. Let's hit our end point here.
Okay.
Well, Dororo, we got our rating system, and I can't imagine what you're going to rate it to. But we got our rating system, and it's keep watching, and total garbage.
Yes.
Where are you rating this?
I'm gonna have to say keep watching. In fact, this is the most I've been taken with an anime in quite some time.
Yeah.
This is 100%, 110% my shit. I absolutely love it. It's fucking phenomenal. It's just
absolutely.
Great.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Keep watching. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you've listened to these episodes and you're like at all intrigued and you haven't watched it, keep fucking watching. All I heard from Tim, who walked in while we were watching it, is just, no, you guys got to keep watching.
Yeah, he was, as much as we got out of those 6 episodes, he was like, you guys haven't seen shit. You guys haven't seen a goddamn thing. You got to watch the rest of the episodes. So,
it's good.
Guess we got to watch the rest of the episodes.
Guess so.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got to figure out what we're going to talk about next week.
Right. Is this just going to be a thing where we talk about what we're going to watch next week?
Unfortunately, yes.
I think so.
We did not talk about this prior because we never talk about this prior.
No. We talked about talking about it prior, but then we didn't.
Okay. So there's 2 options in my mind.
Okay. Let me hear it.
We talk about Hajime no Ippo.
Okay.
Or we talk about that weird, like, X-Arms show.
That's what I was thinking, too.
I want to talk about... Listen, we have watched too much good shit lately.
And look, I love Hajime no Ippo. That's one of my favorite things in the world, and I think you do, too.
It's becoming one of my favorite things, absolutely.
It fucking rules. Like, we're gonna do an episode eventually, but, like... It's just going to be another one of these, or like another one of the Azoken, where we just
it's so good,
suck its dick
it's
constantly.
So great. It's great.
Yeah. It's fantastic. So let's push that a little bit, and let's look at some stuff that doesn't look quite as promising. So X-Arms.
Dude, I am so down. Like, I know you said I don't want to talk about obviously garbage shows and stuff like that, but I love garbage.
Here's the thing. It's not necessarily that I don't want to talk about garbage shows, because there's some wonderful garbage out there.
Yeah.
I do not want to go into an episode with the intent of shitting on something. So I'm gonna try my damnedest to find some things to like about X-Arms.
Well, you know what? We can be contrarian.
Sure.
We can like X-Arms.
Yeah.
Maybe X-Arms is
that'll get
great.
us more. This is what YouTube's all about. Have you seen Video Game Donkey?
Oh.
Every time a popular JRPG comes out, he's like, I don't like JRPGs. And everybody gets pissed off. Every time. It never fails.
I love that man.
He's great.
He's also fuck JRPG.
He's a business genius. People and then they talk about him on Twitter and he gets way more views.
No, it's a good move.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's great.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if he doesn't like Dragon Quest XI.
I just bought Dragon Quest XI.
Did you?
Tim Rogers recommended, so...
Tim Rogers is a big Dragon Quest guy.
I have learned.
He lived in Japan throughout the 2000s. So, he would be a huge Dragon Quest guy.
I picked it up. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not ready for it.
Let me know what you think of it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it is a traditional-ass turn-based JRPG.
I'll be real with you. Next time we record, I'm going to be talking about Mass Effect again.
Probably. Yeah. Well, the episode after next, let me know what you think about
Thank you.
DQ11. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so we've reached the end of our wonderful podcast.
Quite so.
Probably the best episode we've ever recorded.
Perhaps.
Bakari, how are people going to find you? How are people going to get in touch with you?
So you can go on Twitter.com Bakfu, Bakfuu. It's quite possible that I'll have changed that by the time this episode comes out. But, you may also be able to find me on Spotify, Octomammoth.
Ooh,
who knows?
There you go. He does the intro and outro.
That I do. And if not Spotify, you can also find me on SoundCloud, or regardless of Spotify, I suppose. You can also find me on SoundCloud.com/Octomammoth. Yeah. How can people find you?
So I'm on Twitter at Hentai Pizza Lord, but ever since I downloaded that fucking whatever Twitter app you talked about.
Oh, it's Tweak Twitter.
Tweak Twitter.
Something.
I don't fucking know. I don't spend any fucking time on Twitter. I don't see any DMs.
You were broken of the curse.
I don't see any fucking DMs. So
I want that for me one day.
If you need touch with me, hit me up on Twitter and expect a response in like a week.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it has broken Twitter from me.
Good. I'm glad. I'm hoping to get to that point myself.
I'm real talk. Like, we don't have a real audience,
No.
but I'm like, we need to make a Battle School Dropouts like Twitter account because I don't give a shit about my own.
That's fair.
And just as a way that any person could know that something was going to be posted. But then it's also like, okay, we have 18, 19 subscribers. Like, what a fucking waste of time to make a fucking Twitter account for what we do.
It just looks silly, right? When we're like, we're going to make the account and it's going to have 2 followers.
Absolutely.
And,
yeah.
that's going to be it.
Yeah. So if you need more Battle School Dropouts in your life,
we got 12 other episodes. Go listen to those.
Listen to those.
Stupid.
They're all fucking good. You can hit the
Dipshit.
notification thing and maybe YouTube will tell you. And then you can also, you could, again, if you're desperate, hit us up on Twitter. But again, if you're listening, I know who you are, Tim. So, I appreciate it. You know, all that jazz.
Yeah.
This is a good episode.
Yeah. This is a lot of
fun. As much
fun.
as we got angry at our fans at the end. As much as I got angry at the fans at the end.
I think I try to insult the listener at least once per episode.
That's the thing. Yeah. I need them to know I'm above them.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
We're the content creators.
Absolutely.
You're the content consumer.
We've won this war.
Yeah.
No,
subscribe to our OnlyFans.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Listen, I bought so many anal beads. I'm ready.
It's all content, baby. Podcasts, songs, videos, whatever. It's all content.
It's good.
It's all smashed together like a refried beans. Just it's late. It's almost midnight.
Can I just let you know I'm so happy we're recording in the same room again?
Me too. This has been
wonderful.
a lot of fun.
This is so great.
Yeah.
I love it.
I hope this isn't a nightmare in editing.
Oh, it will be.
It will be.
It will be.
Yeah.
No, honestly, if anything, it'll be better. It'll just sound worse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Again, apologies for the audio quality. We'll fix it. I don't think it'll be honest, won't be fixed by the next episode.
Yeah, but the episode after that?
August, though,
August is going to be good.
There will be some changes, some developments.
Well, you know, we got this, I'm so glad our 1-year anniversary is going to be X-Arms.
That feels fitting.
Yeah.
That feels right.
100%.
That feels,
as much as we just gush over anime.
That's the right way to do it.
Let's get upset, dude.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be angry.
I'm not going to be, like, I'm genuinely, I'm trying to go into this, like, I'm looking for anything redeemable about it. And you know what? I feel like I'm going to find something. I feel like I'm going to find something to like about this thing.
Yeah. I can't wait to dunk on you about it.
Sure.
I can't wait to eat more wrap snacks, dude.
We gotta get, like, I'm like genuinely thinking, like, where can we go to find more and different wrap snacks?
Well, I got some ideas.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
All right, let's head out now. I got some wrap snack ideas.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we got more important things to deal with, so.
Deuces, everybody.
Signing off. Take it easy. Thanks for listening. You done did it.
Good app, dude.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.